Alrighty. I think it is about that time where we do the thing. Alright. So, let me just get everything set up here. I should really start putting these in separate scenes, because that just would make things a lot easier. Hello. Nope, not yet. Alright. Let's get this really cool image out of here. And put this up. Is my guy smaller? Oh, is it because I resized the window itself? Hold on, you're gonna get a little behind the scenes sneak peek here. Oh, it is. Oh, that's weird. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I have heard good things about it. It is on my list of things to play. I have several, games that I need to play. And the thing is, a lot of them are, RPGs. Which does not make things easy. That's true. Dog, when Yeek 1.5 eventually drops, I'm dropping everything and just streaming that. That is going to be the stream. But for the time being, the stream is this. It's this subsidiary. So, we've gotten a decent ways in. We're... God. Oh yeah, Yeek is going to... It's either going to be... It looks, from what I've seen, it looks genuinely really good. Yeek, it was... it had a lot of good ideas. It just fumbled on a lot of the execution. So I'm hoping that the update can really help with that. But enough of that. We're here for... Let me know if the volume is okay, by the way.
Two marquee warriors, arcade rivals since the 90s. Now facing off for
but yeah, we're here for
Ryu,
Death Battle.
And Scorpion.
Ryu versus Scorpion. I love Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. This is not the first and will not be the last. Too quiet? Whoa, God, that was loud.
Endlessly walking the earth and improving his fighting skill is the life of Ryu,
is that
a
better?
Japanese martial artist without a home. But there's more to this karate hobo than meets the eye. After being dumped on a doorstep by his douchebag parents, he was adopted by the mysterious Goken. From that moment on, Ryu dedicated his life to martial arts. Probably on some sort of parental vengeance quest. He trained alongside his best friend and rival, Ken Masters. Goken taught them the Ansatsuken, or Assassin's
It's nice learning about,
style. But the name is actually a bit
the
misleading.
main guy.
While originally designed as a means to murder,
in Street
Goken's
Fighter.
personal take on the Ansatsuken is based around karate, kenpo, judo, and
because a lot of the time he can come off as
unlike the ways
very
of his violent
white
brother
bread,
Akuma, who ultimately would prove
vanilla.
to be his undoing. Oh yeah, he can finger paint.
All
Well,
right,
the Assassin's Fist sure isn't your average McDojo style, because Ryu's Shoryuken is an uppercut so powerful, it launches his victim sky high. The Hadouken uses a fighter's willpower to fire a blast of energy and destroy evil things, like waterfalls.
This is before even Street Fighter V came out.
And finally, the Tatsu...
Because I remember when this episode came out.
Tatsumaki Senpukyaku. I had it! Anyway, the thing that I totally know
Oh,
how
yeah.
to pronounce gives the finger to
Ryu's
gravity and lets him briefly fly around like some
technologically
sort of human
illiterate,
helicopter kicking
which is
machine.
very funny.
He also has a powerful step kick he calls the Judan Sokutageri. Hey, we don't have the translation for that one. I'm on it. And diarrhea joke foot? What does it do? Kick people in the stomach so hard that he takes them to Brown Town?
With the correct kanji, it's more like high-level leg blade kick.
You know it's diarrhea kick forever in my mind now, right?
At the age of 23, Ryu entered the first World Warrior tournament to test his skills. He swept through 9 powerful combatants before taking on the champion, Sagat. After a hard-fought battle, Sagat was set to take the win.
Until he made the mistake of being a good sport. After beating the shit out of Ryu, Sagat offered him a helping hand up. Instead of taking it, Ryu gave him a surprise punch so hard, it ripped his chest open and nearly killed
I
the
mean,
guy.
that's how you have to
Dick
play
move,
Street Fighter
Ryu.
1.
Dick move.
Like,
This was Ryu's first
the
taste of the dark
that
power
game,
buried
like, if you have
within
not
him, the Satsui no
seen a
Hado,
playthrough of the story
literally
mode of
the
that
surge
game
of murderous intent.
with, like,
Still not as good a
a
name
real
as the
human
diarrhea
commentating
joke
over
book.
it,
The Satsui no
It's-
Hado gives Ryu
that game is just
incredible
so
power,
bad.
but at the expense of his humanity. He can
Yeah,
tap
it's
a
like,
portion of this power to safely enhance his
in order
attacks.
to
However,
do the
should his
special
desire
moves,
to
you
win
have to,
become so
like,
great he would even
it's not
commit
based on
murder,
when you
the
press
Satsui no
the
Hado
attack
can
button,
overwhelm
it's based
him
on
and
when
he
you
will lose
release
control,
it,
becoming evil.
and also the input,
Now
like,
we're talking.
window
Evil
is
Ryu
much
has
more
enormous
strict.
power, to the point of being almost unstoppable. He can even blast a skyscraper to smithereens.
Oh yeah, important stuff, by the way, I guess, Evil Ryu or something.
He can teleport short distances, even passing through attacks along the way. More impressively, despite Goken never teaching him this, Evil Ryu can use the Ansatsuken's forbidden technique, the Shungoku Satsu, more commonly known as the Raging Demon.
I think some of this footage they're using is from, like, a fan film.
With this, Evil Ryu turns
That's
his
something
foes'
that they
own
also,
sins
like,
against
stopped
them
doing
and
at some
eradicates
point, but
their
it's kind of
soul.
cool
It was
to
this
have it.
exact attack which Akuma, a master of the Dark Hado, used to murder Ryu's master. Since then, Akuma has been haunting Ryu, tempting him to succumb and fully commit to the Dark Satsui no Hado as well. Basically, this is karate Star Wars.
Oh, you call everything Star Wars.
Well, some even speculate that Akuma is Ryu's father.
Mother of God. It is karate Star Wars.
But Goken's teachings instilled a powerful belief in Ryu. If he can resist and shun this dark temptation, he can attain an even greater power.
By detaching himself from all emotion, he enters an alternate state of consciousness.
Like a Jedi.
This boosts his speed, power, and can do all sorts of crazy shit to his abilities.
This is the power of nothingness.
Stupid name.
The power of nothingness is more focused than the Dark Hado, allowing Ryu complete control over his mind and body. Goken even once used this power to separate himself from his soul
Shame we
in
don't
order
really
to
see
survive
this in, like,
Akuma's raging
the
demon.
games.
Surprise, Obi-Wan is still alive.
Ryu is skilled enough to take on numerous
I
thugs at
wonder
once,
what this
tough
guy's
enough to survive
interests are.
being impaled, and strong enough to overpower the genetically created Super Warrior Seth. Oh, and he's fast enough to dodge point-blank gunfire.
Yet as Evil Ryu, his aura is so strong he can just walk through bullets.
That said, being the Street Fighter poster boy doesn't mean he's the top world warrior. He's lost a number of matches fair and square against the likes of M. Bison, Oro, and even his best friend Ken.
However, many of these losses may stem from his struggle to contain the power of the Dark Satsui no Hado, which is obviously quite difficult to do in the middle of battle.
But when Ryu unleashes his full potential, stay the fuck out of his way!
My name is Ryu, and the ultimate power has awakened within me.
From Earthrealm to Outworld, there were few who didn't fear the ruthless clan known as the Ling Kuei.
Except the Shirai Ryu, a clan with some serious balls. Not only did they defect from the
Mortal
Lin
Kombat
Kuei,
lore.
they mocked them on a daily basis by wearing obvious palette swaps of their clothes. They also like to pull classic pranks
This
like
is all,
annoying
like,
phone
different
calls,
now
TPing
because of
Lin Kuei home,
time travel
and constantly slaughtering their loved ones.
nonsense.
Got 'em.
From the Shirai Ryu came Hanzo Hazashi, the hellish ninja of vengeance. But before he became the stuff of nightmares, he was once an ordinary young child, whose father just happened to be a deadly assassin. In hopes of sparing him from a
That
violent
would
life of regret and
make
murder,
sense, I
Hanzo's
suppose,
father
considering
forbade
that
him from ever joining the clan.
Evil Ryu isn't
Sorry,
really a
son.
thing.
You're not allowed to be awesome.
However, as time went
Although
on,
we know
Hanzo
that-
became desperate.
like, we
He
know that
needed a way to
Akuma is
support not
going to
only
be a
himself,
DLC
but also his
character at
wife
some
and son.
point.
Faced with few
So
other
that's
options,
going to be
he
interesting to
reluctantly
see.
disobeyed his father and began the life of a ninja assassin.
As a ninja, Hanzo is exceptionally skilled
Hanzo,
in ninjutsu,
Overwatch?
paigwa, hapkido, and numerous secret Chinese martial arts. But it's his weapon of choice that earned him the nickname Scorpion.
There
While his
is.
kunai on a rope is iconic
There's
and
2
deadly,
episodes
I'm
with
more
Overwatch
partial to
characters
whatever the
later,
hell that
actually.
snake creature is that lives in his hand. Well, in whatever form, it impales the opponent and pulls him in close, usually for a sweet uppercut to the jaw.
This is similar to an ancient assassination weapon used in the Tang Dynasty called the rope dart. It's extremely difficult to master, making Scorpion's finesse all the more impressive.
He's also proficient with several weapons like long swords, twin katanas, and axes.
Scorpion's weaponry and combat prowess were put to the ultimate test by the legendary Lin Kuei warrior, Bi-Han, aka Sub-Zero. And things didn't go so well for our yellow-clad ninja. Next thing he knew, Scorpion was waking up in the Netherrealm.
More commonly known as Hell. Bet you wish you listened to Dad now. Then maybe you could have ended up in a happier place with your murdered wife and kid. Oh yeah, they're dead too.
Enraged at Sub-Zero for apparently killing all whom he'd sworn to protect, Scorpion scored a second chance by striking a deal with the sorcerer Quan Chi. In exchange for
That's
his
also
loyalty,
from fan
Scorpion
film,
was
I
resurrected
think.
as a phantom of the Netherrealm.
We're talented.
And being reborn as a demon of vengeance has its perks. Scorpion can now teleport, summon fire at will, and create portals in and out of the Netherrealm he was spawned from, literally dragging others to hell. Whilst there, his plus ones can enjoy such tourist locations as Lava Pit and witness the corpse burning celebration called the Festival of Torture. Fun times!
The Netherrealm is the source of Scorpion's demonic power, and his strength rises simply by
Scorpion's
his
such a
being there.
cool
Scorpion
character.
is so vicious,
It's one of
he
those
can
where it's like,
perform no
oh,
fewer than
this is
13
very
different
dumb.
fatalities.
He
But
can
it's
rip a
also
person's head from their
kind of
body,
cool.
spine included,
That's not something you just do. That's art right there.
rip off his mask to show his true face,
Ah, what the fuck is that thing?
and score a kill by transforming into a, well, giant scorpion, of course. Or a penguin.
Wait, what?
Penguin
And
Scorpion
although
is
Scorpion
the
was far
greatest
from the
thing
most
ever.
powerful combatant in the Mortal Kombat tournament, he has defeated lethal warriors across multiple worlds. He's conquered sorcerers, demons, cyborgs, and eventually avenged his death by incinerating Bi-Han in the Netherrealm.
But it turns out that Sub-Zero guy was kind of innocent. The man actually responsible for the death of his family was Quan Chi. You know, that guy he swore himself to and has been working for this whole time? Man, Scorpion's kind of like the Charlie Brown of Mortal Kombat.
As penance
I love
for
the
his
Charlie
mistake,
Brown
Scorpion
joke. It's
dedicated
so
his
good.
life after death to protecting the late Sub-Zero's younger brother, Sub-Zero.
Though he still found time for shooting threes, hitting homers, and hosting his own cooking show.
This week on Cooking with Scorpion, learn about chopping,
Yeah, I'm not gonna trust anything that guy makes.
cake decorating,
Does he even eat anymore?
Aside from his weakness for the culinary arts, Scorpion's
One of the
win-loss
strengths of
record
this
is
episode,
not as intimidating as you
so
might
far,
think.
is that it's
But
just
consider the
funny.
outrageous scope of his
Like, this
competition.
episode's
Any
genuinely
way you
funny.
look at it, it's tough to be much more of a badass than a fire-breathing skeleton ninja from hell.
I am Scorpion. Vengeance will be mine.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, want to win the original script for this episode, signed by Wiz and myself?
Use the widget link below to choose the fighter you think will prevail, and you'll automatically be entered to win.
And now it's time for a death
I wonder if
battle!
someone has that original script copy still. But anyway, the part we're all here for. It's very good. That would be a great one to watch, like,
Can't fool me.
with the gang.
Come on. For it. Can you stand up after that? I'll finish this. You will join me in hell.
This is some fun.
I think those are original, the close-up shots. Like those aren't taken from a game or something. I mean, they might be traced from something.
Neither of us have reached our full potential.
As if that matters.
It's not over. Surprised? I'll show you what I'm made of. Don't expect mercy.
I've been quiet a lot. This fight's just really good. Like, I don't have much to say. It's just everything has a lot of impact. It's just cool.
Concentrate. I will not succumb to evil.
Power of Nothingness looks a little silly.
This is the power of mankind.
Damn.
I walk a path with no end.
I will crush our foes.
But yeah, Rip's the guy.
I'm no chef, but that looks a bit overcooked.
Like, oh
Ryu's
god,
Satsui no Hada
that
and the power of nothingness were incredibly powerful, but raw
that
power
fight's
alone
just
is not enough to destroy
so
Scorpion.
good.
Yet Scorpion's
The
advantage of
impact
already
on every
being
hit,
dead
especially
didn't make
like
this a
near the
cakewalk.
beginning.
In fact, Ryu had the perfect way to permanently end Scorpion, the soul-killing raging demon. But he could avoid the instant murder move thanks to his awesome ninja skills and teleportation.
Not to mention Ryu has very little experience actually using the Raging Demon anyway. But most importantly, Scorpion's strength increases the longer he remains in the Netherrealm.
Scorpion winning
with
due
no
to
defined
his
limit.
ninja
Once trapped in
skills,
hell with
letting him
Scorpion,
avoid
Ryu
the
stood little chance
raging
in the
demon
long
is a
run.
little
Zero chance if
stupid, but
Scorpion just up and teleported him into
whatever.
a pool of lava. Which he could totally do. Scorpion was just too hot to handle.
The winner
Cool
is
fight.
Scorpion.
cool fight.
Next time on Death Battle.
So when this episode came out, I would have been... When did this come out? 9 years ago. November 2014. So I would have been 14. Holy fuck. This episode's almost 10 years old. But yeah. I was so fucking excited for the next time. Because I was a huge, huge Kirby fan. I still am. And, like, it's, the episode, it's real good. Unfortunately, there were some delays, so we're not doing that yet. But we do.
This episode of Death Battle is brought to you by Destiny's Expansion 1, The Dark Below.
Something
Available
pretty
now.
good in between. Also, they're sponsored by Destiny. Fucking lol.
They say imitation is the highest form of flattery, but sometimes it's nothing but a slap in the face. Such is the case when it comes to these two masked mercenaries.
Deadpool, the merc with a mouth.
And Deathstroke, the Terminator.
He's whizzing on Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor,
Like,
and
this
skills
is
to find out who
this is a
would win
pretty
a
good
death
matchup
battle.
to have to wait for Kirby versus
You see
Boom
him on
for.
t-shirts, internet memes, and everywhere you look at nerd conventions.
But the story behind this popular anti-hero isn't as lighthearted as his joking nature would lead you to believe. Wade Winston Wilson was a globe-trotting mercenary looking for his chance to become the world's next greatest superhero. Then he was diagnosed with cancer, which hit him like a flaming semi-truck falling on his face.
That's oddly specific.
Facing the inevitability of death, Wade gave up. He abandoned his heroic dreams, stopped his chemo treatments, and dumped his girlfriend to free her from the burden of a man doomed to die.
Doomed until he was offered a cure by Department K, the Special Weapons Development Division of a strange alien world called Canada. And by cure, I mean he actually was handed over to the Weapon X program, the same guys who gave Wolverine's bones the old chrome dip. They injected Wade with Wolvie's healing factor.
Which I don't even know if that's possible. Do they have like a spare jar of essence of Wolverine or something?
With the ability to heal from anything, his body became a surgical playground for Dr. Kilbrew and his assistant Ajax. Just like Operation, only constantly hitting the sides. But hey, at least he doesn't have cancer anymore.
Well, actually, he still does. His cells just regenerate faster than the cancer can kill him. Beneath that red and black spandex, he's basically a giant walking tumor, which can talk. A lot.
Ah! Kill it with fire! Oh, wait. We can't.
Meanwhile, among Kilbrew's other prisoners, a gambling ring was formed.
It's nice
Patients
to
would
like.
place bets on
This
each
was
other's
before the
survival under the
Deadpool
knife.
movie came
And
out.
these bets were placed in what they called the Deadpool.
So this was like
Get it?
a really
That's
nice
kinda
way
like
to
where his name
learn
comes
about
from.
like
Oh, you'll see.
Unfortunately for
Deadpool's
Kilbrew,
actual
Wade
serious
had somehow
backstory.
gotten superhuman strength, speed, and stamina. Because I guess they had a jar filled of that shit too. He used these skills to kill Ajax and make a dramatic escape. Free at last, his fellow inmates inspired him to take on his now famous namesake.
Deadpool.
Deadpool! Yeah!
What the heck?
Oh, I'm sorry. Please continue talking about how great I am.
I was afraid of this. See, Deadpool somehow possesses a unique
And that's what
awareness
makes
of
this
whatever medium
episode
he's in,
very
whether it be
unique.
comic books, games, TV shows, or an awesome internet show.
What now?
Basically, he's a pro at shattering the fourth wall.
Bingo! Oh, hey, Boomstick, tell your ex-wife I said hello.
You've got 5 seconds to get the hell out of here before I blow your head off.
Unfortunately, all that would do is just piss him off. Bad idea, as Deadpool is a master martial artist, seasoned assassin, and a raging sex machine. What?
Yeah, I noticed you left out a few things in the script, so I made some changes. You know, just the important stuff. Like my penis.
Well, if by raging sex machine he means getting down with a bloated alien, a shape-shifting teenage prostitute, and death herself, he must have some pretty low
Deadpool in
standards.
this-
That's right, this guy literally tried to stick his dick in death. Maybe that's why he likes my ex-wife. But besides his dick, Deadpool has
I mean,
an arsenal
Deadpool
of weaponry
was
he can
like
pull out of
created
absolutely nowhere.
to be
This
a
is an animation
parody
technique
of
commonly called the magic
like,
satchel. Though its existence
these
as an
very
actual thing is
gritty,
preposterous.
like
Oh, yeah?
overly
Watch
serious,
this.
like super soldier type
I hate
characters.
you. Oh, I hate you
specifically,
too.
Deathstroke,
Me
the guy he is
too.
fighting.
Some of Deadpool's
So,
favorite toys include
My trusty
It's-
rusty twin katanas.
it's more
some
so
grenades,
like-
my 2 favorite machine guns, butter, and I can't believe it's not butter. A
Oh, he's just
teleportation
like a
belt,
big
and
walking
Infinity
joke.
Stone that alters continuity. Oh, I can't choose. I love them all.
Okay, that's it, I'm gonna kill him.
La 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 la.
Combined, Deadpool's weapons and abilities have
Deadpool in
helped
this
him
episode,
accomplish
by the
some
way, is voiced
amazing
by
feats in spite of his
Curtis
illness.
Arnott,
His
Takahata
quick draw
101.
is fast enough to beat
So,
7 Hydra
if the
agents
voice
at
seems
once.
familiar,
He
that's
can
why.
decimate legions of armed warriors solo while talking on the phone. He's the only one to ever outwit Taskmaster, who literally has the power to predict his opponent's moves. And in one instance, he even murdered the entire Marvel Universe, including the supposedly unkillable Wolverine.
He did this with a sword made of carbonadium, an alloy capable of nullifying healing factors. In other words, he cheated.
He survived skyscrapers collapsing on top of him, having his heart ripped out, his head blown to bits, and even his entire body melted into a puddle.
But his regeneration is also responsible for one of his greatest downfalls. This power has trained him to think he's invincible, and so he's become quite careless in battle.
And that's just if his extreme ADHD hasn't already put him into a bind.
Yet there are few more deadly than the regenerating degenerate. Really, Deadpool finally accomplished his dream of becoming the next great superhero.
Aw, that's sweet of you guys. Wanna see me naked?
Wait, what? No, no, no!
Oh, my eyes! Can't claw them out fast enough.
And now you're scarred for life. Let's see my competition.
In the history of the DC Universe, there has never existed a more lethal tactician and soldier than Slade Joseph Wilson. After illegally joining the US military at the age of 16, he fought in Korea for years, where his skill earned the attention of an experimental serum program and the lovely Captain Adeline Kane.
This is sounding suspiciously like the origin story of Captain America.
Slade actually gets the girl.
Oh, never mind. But does he steal cars?
Probably. Slade completely mastered every fighting style under Adeline's tutelage in record time. Apparently, this impressed her so much they were married with a kid on the way in mere months.
Now that's my kind of woman. Oh, you're a badass? No roses, no dates. Let's fight people, get married, and plow. Feeling pretty fucking great about life, Slade volunteered for an experiment that would help him resist enemy truth serums. Everything went exactly as planned. You'd think these guys would have learned by now.
Wouldn't you know it, the injection did not have the effects they were looking for. But instead of ruining his life forever, the experiment accidentally transformed Slade into the deadliest assassin in the world.
Deathstroke's very
a
sort of
Terminator,
like
if you will. Which begs the question,
cliche,
what on earth does the US military think is
superhuman,
in truth serums?
super soldier,
Slade rose
serious
as a new
guy.
man known to the world as Deathstroke.
Really?
Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Deathstroke is nearly superhuman. He can hit harder, run faster, react quicker, and push himself longer than an Olympic athlete. Plus, he can use 90% of his brain, unlike the average 10%.
Come on, if we really only used 10% of our brains, we'd be about as dumb as sheep.
You're a sheep.
What's important here is Deathstroke's mind can process information 9 times more efficiently than an ordinary man. He can think quicker, hear better, and see faster. God damn it, that's not a real thing.
Oh, we should put him and Captain America into a staring contest.
He also has a
This
healing
episode's
factor,
also
which can repair any
funny.
part of his body,
Like even outside
even
of
if
the
his
Deadpool
brain
part, which
is
of course,
blown
like,
to smithereens.
the
Bringing him
Deadpool's
back
part's of
from
course
the
gonna have
dead.
humor.
Unfortunately, life back home was rough for Slade.
drinks a
His
lot of
abilities were put to
soda,
the test when his
helps
son
him
was kidnapped by a
see
group of
faster.
rival mercenaries. Despite a successful rescue, his son lost his ability to speak.
So his ungrateful wife lashed out in rage, and Slade was never the same.
Literally.
But he's one step closer to his secret dream of becoming a pirate. Question, Wizard, if he has a healing factor, how come he's still missing that eye?
Well, no one knows, Boomstick, but perhaps not even a healing factor can repair the deepest of emotional wounds.
Oh, that's bullshit.
They're
Despite
definitely
his
getting
new lack
better
of
and
depth
more
perception,
consistent at
Deathstroke
writing
remained as
these
skilled as
analysis
ever.
parts.
Partially thanks to his favorite gear. I'm talking dual machine
Combining
guns,
the, like,
a sniper
actual
rifle,
character
and a
analysis
super bomb.
and
Which
like
is actually just a glorified flashbang
charming
grenade with trace
humor
bits of
and
kryptonite.
jokes.
Guess who that's for?
The guy who fought Goku in one of the most biased fanboy videos ever.
Shut up, Wade.
Okay, Ben.
This is just getting weird. So back to the weapons. Deathstroke prefers his sweet Thundercat-style sword and laser-shooting energy lance. Also, he's got an awesome suit of armor made up of Kevlar and nth metal.
Oh look, yet another fictional alloy stronger and lighter than titanium. Also, he has armor composed of promethium.
Well, my shirt is made up of boomstickium. See, I can make up alloys too, writers.
Actually, Boomstick, promethium is a real thing.
Oh, come on!
Though in real life, it's a chemical used in atomic batteries to power guided missiles and spacecraft. But in comic book land, it's not that at all. It can absorb energy, is incredibly strong, and is self-regenerative.
Wait, so his suit has a healing factor too? So, does, like, his zipper try and close itself when he wants to take a leak? Because that's horrifying. I mean, I remember when I got my junk stuck in the toaster.
With his impressive skills and arsenal, Deathstroke has defeated dozens of ninjas at once, survived an exploding nuclear submarine, and took down most of the Justice League by himself.
He's also really good at push-ups.
How many push-ups can he do?
All of them.
Push-ups.
Despite multiple members of the Justice League agreeing he's the best tactician on the planet, Deathstroke is known for violent outbursts of rage when in extreme pain. Depending on who he's fighting, this can make him even more dangerous.
Deathstroke doesn't just solve problems, he terminates them.
I am the thing that keeps you up at
Oh yeah, he's also technically the bad guy in the Teen Titans show, although they're pretty different in terms of character.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for a death battle!
Alright, so remember how I mentioned that this guy Torian was doing their 3D fights now? This is the first one where he really gets to show off what he can do.
What a rip! Seriously, what makes this chump worth $10 more than me? Come on, I'm me! What? Am I right? Yeah, I am, I'm pretty sure. Ah!
It's your lucky day. I can show you.
Oh boy, a show? Can I get popcorn first? I hope they have salt and pepper shakers. I love it to be tasty. Bye. Bam! Bam! Oh, you can! Bam! Check that air!
I also love generic, like, Unity
A Donatello fan,
City.
huh? I was always more of a Leonardo guy myself. Although I think most people would pin me more as a Michelangelo. You know, that's them labeling. I will not be labeled. No touchy feely.
I know for a lot of these, they do, like,
Bam!
if it's a character that's been in a fighting game, they do try and incorporate, like, actual, like, moves that they do in the game. Like, the poses and everything into the fight.
I gotta say, it's kind of an honor to get the snot beat out of me by you, of all people. Bruises aside, of course.
Let's see what kind of mark this leaves on you.
Hey, buddy, don't let me slow you down. Where is that son of a gun? I'm gonna show him what for, I swear to God. Oh, shit. Look at me! Look at me! Do not slow down!
Incidental NPC bus driver.
Hey! You're... dumb face! Oh, my kidney! Oh, is it sword fight time? Good thing I carry spares. Guess it's cutting time!
Like, I think that rapid slice move
If you
is one
spent half
deadly
as much time
supers.
concentrating as you do talking, perhaps you'd be less predictable.
Oh, you're kidding me! I'm predictable? I'm just getting warmed up! I don't mind it. He's coming for me, he wants to fight.
I'll talk a bit more about some of the like behind the scenes stuff of the fight like after it's done. But yeah, there's a lot of improvement going on.
It's clean! My leg! Oh, it's cramping! Pop, watching Deathstroke! God damn it! Oh, my third lung is so...
Wow, a flaming semi-truck hit him in the face. How about that?
Well, that escalated quickly. You might want to lay low for a couple days, because you are pretty much responsible for a mass murder. It's a Deathstroke kebab! Whoops, hang on, give me a sec. This gonna hurt. Oh. Whoa, hold on! You heal fast too? I've got something special for that. Carbonadium Sword! Murdering all your pesky Wolverines and Saberteeth since 2012. Good year for cinema.
Will X-Men Origins Wolverine jab there? I believe that's
All
what
the
that
children
is.
in the audience, cover your eyes. And the moral of the story is... Deadpool wins! Yay! This is totally racist. Hey, chimichanga! Oh, YouTube comments.
Yeah, so the thing with this fight is this is the first one that they used motion capture for.
Don't tell me how to do my
So
job.
they had
And this was a
the
surprisingly
animator actually
even
had
match.
like a very
Though Deathstroke was the
rudimentary motion
superior
capture
fighter of the
setup
two
with
and had the better armor,
an Xbox
Deadpool could
Kinect,
take all his
I believe,
punishment
as
and
the
give
camera.
just as much.
Deathstroke smart.
So that's why
normally you'd have
the
no
like
problem
actual fight
predicting his opponent's
animation
moves,
and
but Deadpool
smaller
is so
movements look a lot
unpredictable, not even
easier.
Taskmaster or sometimes
Yeah,
even
the
himself, for that
dance
matter,
sequence
can keep up with whatever
apparently
he's doing.
was something he just
Unfortunately
did
for
on the
Deathstroke, he
fly
didn't have the means to
one
put
night
Deadpool down
while
for
just
good.
like
And while Deathstroke's
just
healing
on
factor
a
was
on a
perfect for
creative
repairing
role.
damage, Deadpool's trumped his by
And he
being
just
capable
added
of
that in. It
replacing
wasn't in the
entire
original
organs at a
script. He's
much
just like, you
faster
know what?
rate.
Here we go.
Sometimes the original isn't always the best.
Deadpool is just a cut above the rest.
The winner is
Spider-Man! I mean Deadpool, shit!
And like it was also good.
Thanks to
Like
Destiny
the
for sponsoring this
the
death
dialogue, like I think Deadpool towed the line just right between being very annoying and being like actually funny. But anyway, now it's actually like Kirby time. I was so hyped for this when it came out.
Imagine right now, what does the apocalyptic destroyer of worlds look like?
Stop thinking, because you're wrong. It's these pudgy pink terrors. Kirby, Nintendo's floating puffball of never-ending cheer and dreams.
Kirby.
And Majin Buu, the most vicious monster in the Dragon Ball universe.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Over 1,000 years ago, an epic war waged throughout the universe. The legendary Star Warriors battled against the vile Nightmare for the freedom of everything that ever was. Ultimately, good prevailed, but at the cost of many, many lives. Yet
Probably.
one infant Star Warrior escaped the carnage, destined
I mean,
to
Kirby's
awaken
fought,
a
like,
millennium later and save the galaxy. His
good
name
gods.
is Kirby.
Wait,
So,
what? The cute and cuddly pink puffball who
demon of
lives in Happy Land? Are
planetary
you sure
destruction
you're reading the right backstory?
would surprise
Yes,
me.
he crash landed on Popstar, the most confusingly shaped planet ever, and has been defending the Kingdom of Dreamland ever since.
But look at him! He's just so adorable and cuddly. He couldn't hurt a fly.
Kirby is a ravenous cannibal who thrives on the blood of mass murder.
Did you do this?
Holy shit!
He may not look it, but Kirby is a powerhouse. He possesses incredible strength, speed, durability, and an arsenal stranger than an average day in Florida.
His trademark power is his inhale ability, which sucks almost everything in with a powerful vortex. With it, he can clear out everything from a quick meal to an acre of forest in a matter of seconds.
Plus, Kirby's body is malleable, allowing him to stretch his mouth and inhale larger objects, though he does have trouble wrapping his mouth around extremely large and heavy things.
Like my dick!
Kirby
Bad
weighs
boomstick.
practically nothing,
Stop that.
allowing him to inflate his body and fly like a sentient balloon. He can also traverse the skies and outer space using his personal vehicle, the Warp Star.
Which he can call up at any time on speed dial. No, really, he uses a cell phone.
Yeah.
Somebody get me that number. I tried 1-800-PINK-RIDE, but it was something else.
Tragic times
The
we
Warp
live
Star
in.
is Kirby's primary means of
I think
transportation
everyone's
through
just
the universe
accepted
and can fly
Florida
at speeds
as
faster
like a
than light.
hellscape at this
It is
point.
forged of Kirby's
While
own
Ohio
energy,
is more of
so
a
while
liminal
delicate, should it be
space.
destroyed, Kirby can easily create a new one on his own, making the cell phone kind of pointless.
I'd be happy to take that phone off of his hands, though I'm a bit iffy on standing anywhere near that star-driving balloon marshmallow. Look at him! He doesn't even care! He's a monster!
It's about to get even worse. Guess what just happened to that poor creature? See, when Kirby swallows a victim, they don't exactly die. Turns out Kirby's stomach is, in fact, an entirely separate and endless dimension of reality.
So he never feels full. Talk about getting your money's worth at an all-you-can-eat buffet, though.
Kirby can trap thousands of victims in this abyss. Then, he can actually enter his own stomach dimension and draw from his captive's power using his copy ability.
How in the hell
Yeah.
does he, swallow himself?
He likely projects an astral image of himself within the dimension which can act on the physical plane.
Sure. Anyway, with the copy ability, Kirby's form and power change based on what he's eating. By devouring an enemy with a mallet, he can become Hammer Kirby, a master of whack-a-mole.
Fire Kirby can unleash a torrent
this
of
makes
flame
me
and
so
survive all
happy.
manner of heat. Ice Kirby freezes foes
That's
solid.
part of
Wheel Kirby is
like
fast
Death
enough to drive
Bow,
around the
when
entire
talking about a
kingdom of
character,
Dreamland
there's
in
like
under
one
2
of
seconds.
two,
Though who
like,
knows how he can see where he's going.
things that make
There's
you really
Mike
happy.
Kirby, whose singing
Learning
talent
about
is apparently so
a new
awful,
character
everything
that
that
you were
hears it
interested in.
dies.
Or hearing them talk about a character you already really love.
Like Wiz at karaoke night with the ladies.
Yeah, hey!
Stone Kirby is nearly indestructible, and Sword Kirby is a master with a blade. He can even fire sword beams, which can cut through anything without mercy. Damn! But that's not all. He can pour a ton of energy into the blade and make it grow into the powerful Ultra Sword.
Fighter Kirby is a master martial artist, and by inhaling a miracle fruit, he becomes Hypernova Kirby.
Yeah, I think
capable of
Triple
devouring
Deluxe was like
worlds.
brand new when
Last
this
but not
episode
least,
came out.
by absorbing his own Warp Star, Kirby can create
So
his
it's not like
ultimate weapon,
peak
the
Kirby
Star Rod,
scaling,
a magical staff
but
powered
it's
by dreams
pretty
and capable
close.
of destroying evil. And most of the moon.
The only problem with Kirby's copy ability is they don't last. One bad hit, and there it goes.
But even without an added ability, Kirby is remarkably tough. He's powerful enough to crack a planet in half, fast enough to run on water, and strong enough to throw a monster 30 times his size on a frying pan all the way to the sun, circle the burning star, and return to Kirby's feet with a perfectly cooked monster.
I think that might be the most ridiculous feat we've ever seen on Death Battle. But he's not
God.
just strong. He's so tough that he was barely
Right back
phased
at
after
you
being
is
crushed under
such a
thousands
fun
of tons
time.
of pressure, and effortlessly survived an explosion massive enough to eclipse the entire world.
He's achieved all of this despite being only 8 inches tall.
See,
Such
it's
a
not
good
the
cartoon.
size of the monster, it's how he throws a fucking humongous frying pan into the sun and back.
Well, Kirby does have one crucial flaw. He's a baby and has yet to fully
Some of
mature
these,
as a Star Wars.
like that Kirby
Yeah,
enemy,
he's not
that's
too
just
bright,
like a bunch
so
of
he's
like
not gonna be whipping up any
circles
genius
stacked on top
strategies
of each other
mid-fight.
with eyes.
Fortunately, he's
is a
powerful
very
enough
like
to get away
new
with it.
creature.
Kirby is the most adorably terrifying thing in the world.
True terror is something unpredictable, unstoppable, and dreadfully deceiving.
A perfect description for the pink monstrosity known as Majin Buu. Majin Buu is a fat pink man-sized baby thing with enough power to destroy a planet, and I assume he's made of some sort of bubblegum, probably Big League Chew.
Boo has existed since the dawn of time, but was only
Boo's one of the
discovered
cooler
5
Dragon
million
Ball
years
villains, I
ago by
always
the
thought, just
nefarious
'cause he's
wizard
so
Bibidi.
unique.
Bibidi released Majin Buu on a helpless universe, intent on destroying everything. After annihilating hundreds
He's not
of
just
planets,
some, like,
Bibidi set his sights on Earth,
evil
sending
guy.
Buu ahead
I mean,
in a
he
sealed
is.
capsule just waiting to be released.
But it's like
Then
such
Bibidi
crib
got
design
himself
powers.
killed before he could get to Earth and release the Pink Terror. But no worries, the weird lizard wizard thing had a backup
Bibidi
plan
toilet,
in the form
shut
of a magic clone named Bobbidi. Yes, clone, not son. That was a mistranslation. So Bibidi, Bobbidi, and Boo put them together, and
God.
what do you get?
A Disney lawsuit.
Anyway, the doppelganger Bobbidi set out on a quest to recover Boo and complete Bibidi's plan.
Eventually, Bobbidi found Boo and opened the monster's shell. But turns out there was a slight defect, and Boo was,
A complete idiot.
Yes, yeah, that's why he's named Boo. There's a lot of different, like,
Boo is the
Toriyama
equivalent
names
of a
his
man-sized
characters
toddler with the power
after
of a billion nuclear
very
warheads.
stupid things. I mean, all of the Saiyans are named after vegetables. Frieza and all of his like family
about
members
your
are named after
terrible
words
twos.
for like cold.
Boo has a ridiculous arsenal for killing worlds. He can fly, shoot lasers, destroy cities by breathing too hard, and can fire a beam from his head penis that turns people into candy.
Boomstick, that's not his genitals, it's his... Well, actually, I don't know what it is. Which brings me to his strangest ability, his whole body in general. Whatever he's made of, it's magic in nature. Boo's body can be pulled, stretched, or even ripped apart with no negative effects.
He can even pull entire slabs from his belly and use his own flesh as a weapon. This is just getting stranger and stranger.
Yes, and he apparently does feel pain, though it seems to please him, like some sort of combat masochist. Fortunately, his body can regenerate almost instantly.
He can be blasted to smithereens and reform himself in seconds. He's practically invincible.
Boo can mimic any key attack after seeing it in action only once. This is how he learned Goku's Kamehameha Wave and Supreme Kai's instantaneous movement teleport. But his copying prowess goes even further. He can physically absorb other people, transforming his mind and body.
Yes, come to me!
It's such like a conceptually terrifying character, but he's also big
That's
and
the
pink and
most
silly.
disturbing thing I have ever seen.
Each version of Boo has a different personality based on whom he's absorbed. Fat Boo is cheerful and childlike due to absorbing the carefree Grand Supreme Kai. But then there's his original and most dangerous form, Kid Boo.
He's so tiny. He's like a little kid in MC Hammer Pants. This can't seriously be his deadliest form.
Kid Boo is pure rage incarnate.
Nowadays, there's actually a bit of a like debate in the fandom.
He can get so angry, he's
Over,
capable of tearing holes in the fabric of reality
like,
just by screaming.
Whether
Or if he's
Kid
fed up with
Boo
whatever
or
planet he's on,
Super
he'll just
Boo
blow it
is
to bits with
stronger.
his planet burst attack.
In a universe chock
but
full of planet
for the
busters,
time,
Majin Buu is one
yeah,
of the
sure.
strongest.
And also
He's
Super Boo
destroyed
requires
entire
special
galaxies by
circumstances
systematically
to appear.
obliterating each planet one by one over time.
Yeah. And
He's
this is why they
defeated
paired
most
him
of
against
Dragon Ball
Kirby, because
Z's most
he's,
powerful
I mean,
characters,
pink
including Vegeta,
and can like
Gotenks, and
absorb
Gohan.
things
He
and
one-shot
copy
the
their,
King of the Demon
like,
Realm and easily
abilities.
bested the Supreme Kais.
Who are like the gods of other gods. So needless to say, Boo is pretty friggin' strong.
But he's also extremely cocky, caring little about strategy or personal safety. And while his regenerative ability seems to make him indestructible,
I'd find him
Boo
more
is one of the
interesting
only Dragon
than
Ball
just,
characters whose body has been visibly
oh, this
affected
guy
by
is strong
ordinary
and can
bullets.
shoot lasers.
And while being able to destroy
Like, Boo
planets,
can do that
his
too,
body's
but
not tough enough to tank the explosion, forcing him to
he's also
regenerate from a mass
like
of
made
big
of silly
particles.
body.
Despite having the mind of a child and a body of Play-Doh, Majin Buu might just be the deadliest villain in Dragon Ball history. All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, if you like Dragon Ball, make sure you check this out.
Oh wait, this ad is funny.
Super Saiyan God Goku, he's my best friend.
Then why do you hate me, Buster?
What?
My Super Saiyan God form would eat Superman for lunch, like a delicious muffin. That's right, I'm talking to you, Ben Singer. Bet you can't even sing. We see them, Ben. They're very angry. We see the comments. We see everything.
Yeah, this is the guy who voices Wiz.
I don't want you anymore.
What?
Merry Christmas.
You too can own one of these totally not possessed limited edition pop vinyl figures.
So this is something they talk about a lot more in these like
Click the
early
link
ones.
below
Is
and
that
use the code DBZ Screw Attack for 10% off.
people get
only at
kind of mad
Funimation.com.
about some of
But
these
right now,
episodes.
it's time for our death
They
battle!
mentioned the Goku vs Superman one a couple times because Dragon Ball fans were not happy that Goku lost. Oh, but look at this. Yeah. Good Funko Pop ad. Kirby's colon 3.
You made Boo mad! Boo made you dead!
The music is a banger. It sounds a little loud. Yes, but would he eat them, is the question. I mean, these guys aren't that important, they're just grunt enemies. Look, Kirby's even gonna eat this one.
You hurt Boo! Almost!
Yeah, we're in like one of Death Battle's golden eras, where it's just gonna be like good episode after good episode. I'd say like my biggest complaint is that this Boo sprite doesn't really fit. Food dimension.
No! No!
Kind of. Also, that's not really how Kid Boo works, but sure, we'll go with it. of those voice lines for Fighter Kirby are taken from Yuri Sakazaki from the King of Fighters games. I mean, it's Kirby music. Of course it's gonna be good. This is before they stopped using, like, or they started using only original music. Just for, like, to try and stay in the green on YouTube. Stock charging sound effect. I also love that Hypernova Kirby just put a filter over him, and it looks funny. Yeah, so people were fucking pissed about this one when it came out.
Strength, speed, and durability matched and surpassed Boo's. Yes, Boo has more destructive capability, but Kirby's inhale and copy ability
a Dragon Ball character lost
that could have killed him.
Against Kirby, son of, like, nowadays Kirby being, like, the strongest, one of the strongest fictional characters is common knowledge, but back then,
which is
not
actually
as
a
much.
post-apocalyptic Earth. This means Popstar's gravity and escape velocity must be similar to that of Earth's. Throwing the giant acid monster Popon up to the sun means Kirby threw at least 3.5 tons over 25,000 miles per hour. And that's not even counting the giant frying pan or the return trip.
And Kirby's Warp Star moves faster than light, a speed Boo has never had to combat before.
Although that's bullshit, saying Boo has never fought faster than light speeds.
Right?
Well,
which
his
is
instantaneous movement has limits in extreme situations, such
like,
as when he didn't
just
use it when a
not
similar giant ball of murder
true.
was killing him
Knowing
at the end of
anything
Dragon
about
Ball Z.
Dragon Ball.
Boo just couldn't stomach this fight.
The winner is Kirby.
But I mean, like, I'm a massive Kirby fan, but I like this one. Also.
Next time on Death Battle.
Have an idea for a death battle? Leave it in the comments below.
Want to win a copy of this episode's script signed by Wiz and yours truly? Well, scroll down to the
that's right. This one had to be
Thank you for watching.
re-uploaded because they used some fan art in it and it got removed. But this one did actually air next.
No anime tough guy trope is complete unless he has outrageous spiky hair, a sword that's clearly compensating for something,
and belts. Lots and lots of belts.
Ragna, the Blood Edge.
And Soul Bad Guy, the Flame of Corruption. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And this was also when
their weapons, armor, and skills
Guilty Gear Xrd was like a new thing.
Nearly a century
Oh, you're about to
ago,
learn
humanity was hunted to near
a lot
extinction
about
by
Blaze
the fearsome
Blue.
Black Beast. Fortunately, 6 brave heroes slayed the monster and saved mankind. The remains of humanity was reorganized under an oppressive government until one man decided to rise up. Ragna, the Blood Edge.
Baggy pants, giant sword, brooding personality. Ragna has tragic backstory written all over him.
I'd actually go with gruesome. As a young child, he and his siblings were confined in an experimental facility as lab rats.
Bummer. What were they trying to do?
No one knows. The important thing here is they were rescued by a talking cat named Jubei, who also happened to be the most feared warrior on the planet. However, things took a darker turn when Ragna's sister Saya grew very sick.
With what?
Sickness? No one knows. Ragna took Saya under his wing, but their younger brother Jin was irritated that Ragna was not spending more time with him. Being a reasonable guy, he decided the only solution was to murder his brother.
Oh yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I'm lonely. I'll kill one of the only people I care about. Great plan. So then a maniacal hipster villain named Yuki Terumi showed up out of nowhere, helped Jin impale Ragna through the chest, and then cut off his arm for good measure.
Why? How? No one knows. Have you familiarized yourself with that phrase yet? Good, because it's not stopping anytime soon.
Moving on for sanity's sake, Ragna would have been done for until an omniscient, time-traveling, pig-tailed vampire descended from the heavens, snapped her fingers, magicked him a new arm, and left. No, don't think, just accept.
Surprisingly still conscious, and apparently an expert of things that have never happened before, Ragna instantly recognized his new appendage as an Azure Grimoire,
infamously
a piece of the Black Beast
complex.
which Ragna can use to manipulate Seether. Seether is a radioactive energy left behind by the Black Beast all over the world.
Like magic.
Well, no, magic is totally different.
But it lets him do magic.
This is also
stuff.
the
yes.
Yeah. This is also the series that Arc System Works
the cat ninja
made during the time period where they had lost the rights to Guilty Gear.
Probably destroying
so there's a lot of like characters who are kinda analogs to Guilty Gear characters. Like Ragna's very clearly like not so bad guy.
Parts of the Black Beast in combat,
but it's also very much its own
razor-sharp claws, or drain the soul of his
BlazBlue's
foe
very
through
cool.
his
It's a shame we have not gotten a game since, oh god, Cross Tag Battle?
Upon completing his training, Jubei bestowed upon him a red cloak and a deadly blade called Blood Scythe.
This baby can extend for stabbing strikes, and like the Azure Grimoire, slowly drains the souls of its victims
like
upon contact.
the name of like
and
a power he has or something.
A sword, not a scythe. It can do this. Ragna's angsty rage
the BlazBlue games are really popular when they came out because they've got like really good sprite work.
Reaper.
And racking up an
Ragna's like
bounty of 90
the
billion,
ultimate like
whatever their currency is.
Edgy early 2010s anime
being
character
the largest
design.
Bounty of all time, he still freely walks the world on foot and in public with no attempt to disguise himself whatsoever.
Probably
look, he even has homophobia in his eyes.
We're talking about a guy who treats getting knocked through solid concrete as an inconvenience, has survived multiple impalings through the chest, took out hundreds of armed officers without breaking a sweat, and obliterated an entire street with a single one-hand sword strike.
Ragna is referred to by some as the most powerful man in the world, but he's also known as a risk-taker with a short temper.
And despite being trained by the most dangerous kitty cat in the world, Ragna is obviously nowhere near Jubei's level of skill, who terrifies even the deadliest villains of the series.
But after all was said and done, Jubei left Ragna with a dire warning. Never think of the Azure Grimoire as your own.
Which is kind of bullshit. I mean, it's attached to him, so I'm pretty sure he's got dibs.
Well, he does, but if he loses control over it, it can transform him into the Black Beast itself. In fact, Ragna was the original Black Beast, sent back in time after falling into a magic cauldron. The two were somehow separated and did battle in the past. These events would repeat themselves in a 100-year time loop until this chick saved Ragna from falling into that cauldron, stopping the Black Beast from appearing in the past in the first place.
But if the Black Beast never went back in time, then it would never have created Seether, and everything in BlazBlue shouldn't exist as we know it. So how?
No one knows!
Can we just make this guy fight someone now?
I'm the main character.
But
and yet
he's
again,
also,
I get left
the
in the
BlazBlue
dark.
games are also very
It's really
tongue-in-cheek
starting to piss me
with a
off.
lot of stuff. I think you would like them. They're very fun.
Way back in the year 2010, the discovery of magic forever changed the course of human history. Traditional technology was eliminated for newer, environmentally friendly methods. And after improving the planet, a certain world superpower sought to improve mankind itself.
Oh, hey, another super soldier project. Let me guess, they injected this guy with some serum and it didn't really work out the way they wanted, but now he's a badass.
Replace serum with magic, and close enough. This man would emerge as the feared bounty hunter, Soul Bad Guy.
So he's clearly the bad guy.
Actually, he's the main hero of the story.
Well, then why would
Before Soul's transformation, he was known as Frederick, a scientist tasked with leading the Super Soldier Project alongside his love interest, Arya. But whether he intended to or not, Frederick would become the prototype of this new super race, the Gears.
But is he guilty?
Probably got during
Oh,
like
hell
a
yeah.
Steam
He was
sale
responsible
or
for Arya's
something.
death.
It goes on
and then
sale
her
a lot.
next death when she was resurrected into this thing.
Oh, wasn't expecting
That
her
game
to
has
look
rollback
like
now, I think.
that, but not as much as I wasn't expecting the blue robo penis. Who even does that?
She was likely created as a giant FU to poor Soul by that man.
Which man?
That man.
I only see Soul Bad Guy.
No, it's that man.
It's just you and me here, Wiz.
Listen, the villain is that man.
Soul Bad Guy's the hero and the villain?
No, he's another character. Just pretend Soul Bad Guy's not there.
You mean he's invisible?
When this person was born into the world, his parents looked at this child and decided they would name him that man.
Who were they looking at, Wiz?
His name is T-H-A-T space M-A-N.
Well, F-U-C-K space Y-O-U. I'm out. So I looked at the internet and discovered that his actual name is that man. I apologize for earlier. Let's move on.
The entire That
Soul
Man
had to maintain a
sequence is
human
one of the
appearance to
best
disguise
bits
his
they've
true
ever
gear
done.
form.
I love it so
So
much.
he developed a special limiter headpiece to keep his own power at bay.
If that thing comes off, say goodbye to whoever recently pissed him off.
As a gear, Soul's aging was slowed to a near halt, allowing him more than enough time to develop his own fighting style.
Well, whatever fighting style lets you punch fire, that's the one I want to learn. Soul's volcanic viper and Fafnir punches are flame-enhanced strikes, while
like,
his riot stomp flies in with a fearsome
Guilty Gear's
kick.
full of
And
stuff like
because
that.
This is anime,
There's a
Soul
character
can trigger
in
his second form, the
Strive
Dragon
whose
Install.
name is
The Dragon Install allows Soul to
Bedman?
safely tap into
Question
a
mark,
fraction
and
of
that's
his
part
full
of the
gear
name.
power, boosting his strength, speed, and healing ability. The drawback,
There's
he can only sustain
Asuka
his power
R,
for so long,
but
and afterward, he's left
it's
vulnerable.
R and
As
then like
Soul
the
wandered
hash
the Earth, that
symbol.
man began a plan for world domination using an army of gears. In response, Soul put together a gear-obliterating superweapon called Outrage.
Which looks like the world's most complicated can opener. Or next-gen Bop It.
Turns out, it was so powerful, nobody could wield it, not even Soul. So he had to split it apart into 8 pieces just to make it usable. Naturally, he took the best piece for himself, the flame-enhanced
Yes,
fire seal.
that's correct.
I want a fire seal, that'd be fucking sweet. Try and eat me now, Orca Whale. Fire seal!
Using Fire Seal to its full potential, Soul defeated that man's forces twice over.
And then he decided to upgrade the shit out of it with the Junkyard Dog Mark III casing.
But
Also
this
a
is
lot of,
hardly
like,
the full extent of
rock
Soul's
music
power.
references.
He once survived the backyard, an alternate dimension which would annihilate the soul of a normal man. And by removing his headband, he can access his full unrestrained potential.
Like when he shot a laser out of his sword to incinerate an inhuman gear the size of Mount Everest.
And once he went back in time and witnessed his past self get murdered, which should have erased him from the present a la Marty McFly. But he didn't like that idea very much, so he just didn't.
After Blaze Blue, nothing is too bizarre for me anymore.
Soul is powerful, but fears his full potential. He's also pretty lazy. His favorite strategy is always whichever is the least strenuous. This lack of extra effort can sometimes leave him underestimating his opponent.
But the second he starts trying, few can stand in his way.
Not in Guilty Gear 1. He's got an infinite in that game. Everyone has
the
infinites in
combatants are
Guilty Gear
set.
1.
Let's end
That
this
game's
debate once
busted.
and for all.
It's time for a death battle!
Who are you? Out of my way. You're dead. You gotta be kidding me.
Let's get this over with.
6 released. Dimensional interruption imaginary number formed. Phase blue, activate!
There, he said the thing.
My turn now! Idea engine light! This'll sting! Tapping out. I'm not gonna waste any more time on you, asshole. Shit!
Part's a little silly. He just becomes dragon. And then S-Shake. Yeah. He actually did the dragon install earlier. That's when he was like glowing red.
Likely due to the fact that while Ragna had on 4 belts, Soul had 18.
Soul's centuries worth
Also,
of
the
fighting
belts
experience
is funny.
Ragna's training, and
But
he
yeah,
has
it's
consistently
like
shaken off wounds more easily.
it's
Even
far
Soul's,
from the best episode this
Soul is
season,
tough enough to
but I don't
withstand
hate it.
Ragna's
It's not the
hazard
worst.
noir,
Parts of it
just like when it
are
survived
really
the
cool.
backyard.
The Black
The
Beast
analysis
was
is
impressive,
funny.
but Soul's gear form is leagues above. Recall
Some
when
of
Soul
it's
turned that gear the size
there's
of Mount
a
Everest
bit of
into
jank.
dust. By comparing the size of the gear
Yeah.
to the clouds, we
Like
can
the most
determine its
disappointing
volume
thing
to
is
be
that this
around
is like
140
the
billion cubic
as of
meters.
now this is the
Destroying something
final
this size
Blaze
would
Blue
require
episode
more
they've
than
done.
85
They did this and then
gigatons
they
of
did
TNT.
Tau
That's
Kaka
nearly
versus
200
Felicia back in
times more
season
powerful
1.
than the 9.0
And the
earthquake that hit
only
Japan in
Guilty Gear
2011.
episode
More
they've
than
done.
enough to take Ragna down.
Though they have
and
said
that
that
was only a
both
fraction
are
of
series that they
Soul's
would
real
want to bring
power.
back
Ragna
at
just
some
burned
point.
out in the end.
The winner is Soul.
And I would
Ragna.
definitely like to see them tackle both series again. Guilty Gear especially. Now that's gotten
Next time on
more
Death Battle.
lore and a few more games. Ah, yes. Gaara versus Toph. It's the first time they have a Naruto character on Death Battle. And also the first time they have an Avatar character. They
Throughout
actually
Death
have a
Battle,
few
we've
of
seen all
those.
manner of weapons and abilities, but these two combatants command the very earth around them.
Gaara of the desert.
And Toph Beifong, the
Yeah,
blind man.
Gaara's from
He's
Naruto.
whizzing
He's
on
cool.
boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their
But they
weapons,
both
armor, and
use
skills
Earth.
to find out
That's
who
the
will win
connection.
a death battle. Gaara of the Desert is a short, skinny, pale stick of a kid, but he's also one of the deadliest shinobi in the world.
He looks like a member of Green Day.
Gaara is the son of the 4th Kazekage, leader of the village hidden in the sand. Born prematurely at the cost of his mother's life, Gaara was destined for a childhood of depression and loneliness from the get-go.
Not even a minute old and already has a kill under his belt. Though, technically, he had a little help. Because, you see, as he was being born, his father was like, "Hey, you know what'd be awesome? Using ninja magic to seal a horrible monster in my son's belly to turn him into an ultimate weapon."
And they literally mean belly. It's like in his stomach.
The process was successful, and Gaara became a Jinchuriki, human beings who have powerful tailed beasts trapped within them. Gaara's beast was Shukaku, a giant tanuki with power over sand.
Oh, I want a tanuki as a pet. They're so fluffy and adorable, you just want to hug. Holy shit, what is that?
Shukaku loathed humanity, and at first, Gata had difficulty controlling the monster's rage, accidentally hurting others. As such, he was shunned by his own people, forced to live a secluded life.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got a goddamn tummy monster. It's not like Pepto-Bismol solving that.
Convinced his only option was to fight and care for only himself, Gata became a ruthless killing machine.
But it's not all bad. Having a digestive desert demon gives him control over all things sand. He can wield it as a weapon, using his mind to trap and crush his foes. Oh, and he can also use
Gaara's
it to
a cool
freaking
character.
fly. How the hell does
Naruto's
that
a
work?
cool series.
He can mentally adjust the density
I would recommend
of the sand,
reading it
whether
rather
it needs
than
to be
watching
lighter than
the
air
anime,
or
though.
stronger than steel.
A lot of filler.
He can even use it to stop bombs powerful enough to wipe out an entire village. He can control any sand in his vicinity using his chakra, a spiritual energy shinobi access for superhuman abilities, such as walking up a tree.
This guy is like the ultimate emo kid. But I'm not gonna give him too much crap, because he can use existing sand to crush the ground around him for even more sand. So he's never without easy access to ammo. Despite this, he still carries a gigantic gourd of sand on his back.
It's huge. You'd think that'd be hard on his spine. Interestingly enough, its unique shape and size is a reference to how in Japanese folklore, tanukis were considered to be so well endowed they'd have to sling their testicles over their shoulders.
Awesome.
But the thing is, Gata's gourd is not carrying any ordinary sand. Gata has infused his own chakra into the gourd sand.
This directly links it to Gata, making it much easier for him to control. He's so skilled with it, he can even forge weapons from it, bury people underground, or send it into another person's bloodstream and control them like some sort of puppet. Talk about an itch you're not gonna scratch.
Also, Gata eventually battled and defeated his own father, who happened to be a zombie at the time. His father used a magnetic release ability to control gold dust, much like Gata does sand.
Even though he can't do the zombie dad magnet thing, Gata added gold dust to his gourd sand anyway, giving him more control over its weight.
But wait, there's more. With her dying breath, Gata's mother somehow imparted her own power into this sand. It became living sand, an extension of her will, determined to follow and protect Gata. It will spring from the gourd to defend him from any danger, regardless of risk and without command.
This absolute defensive technique is called the Absolute Defense. Pretty good name, really. Gata's sand is so dense and fast, only someone who can move nearly the speed of sound can pass it.
Gata can also use everyday sand to create defenses such as his sand armor, which encases him in a shell to soften
I want you to
blows.
remember some
Unlike
of these
his
points
automatic absolute
because
defense, the sand armor
we'll
is
get there.
self-created and requires a large amount of his chakra to maintain.
Gata's skill with sand is only limited by how much chakra he's got left in his system. After running low, he could tag out and give Shukaku a turn fighting, until a group of crazy people literally pulled the sand monster from his body for good. That must have hurt.
He does.
It's gotta be like twice as bad as the night after Chipotle.
He died.
Oh, the same then.
Turns out losing Shukaku was actually a blessing in disguise. After being resurrected, Gata spent some time reevaluating his emotional roller coaster of a
So
life.
Gaara's,
Inspired by Naruto
Gaara's
Uzumaki,
just,
he began to truly understand compassion.
you know, your classic,
His attitude
like,
changed.
oh,
His people began supporting
moody
him.
edge
he
guy
even commanded the allied shinobi
who
forces
eventually
during the
learns
Fourth Great
that,
Shinobi War.
hey, isolation
and,
is
like
bad
his
and
late
friendship
father,
is
Gata also
cool.
became
A zombie?
Kazekage.
Damn!
And then he-
well,
and he's
even
a good
non-zombie
guy.
and missing Shukaku, Gata still retained his powerful chakra and skill over sand.
In their
This is
fight,
also
Gata was so powerful, his father mistook him for
before
Shukaku itself, despite
the
the sand monster
end
being long gone.
Gata is
of
stronger and
Naruto,
smarter than ever,
I believe.
all thanks to his mother's love. I miss Mama Boomstick.
Few can withstand the overwhelming power of this sand shinobi. Or Mama Boomstick's cooking.
Hey! You're uninvited to Thanksgiving.
I never was.
Exactly.
As the only child of the wealthy Beifong family, Toph was kept a secret from the rest of the world. Hidden away, she was pampered and guarded like a fragile child. Her parents were hopeful she could someday become a noble, respected member of Earth Kingdom society.
But their hopes were pretty much dashed from the moment she popped out. See those faded whites? Yeah, Toph's completely blind.
My daughter is blind. She is blind and
I
tiny
hate
and
that
helpless
phrase.
and fragile.
Well, just because she's
Still, fragile
blind,
is the
she's
last
the
word that I would wanna
Terezi
use
of
to
the Avatar
describe this chick.
universe.
Frustrated by her parents' stubborn coddling, Toph ran away
I
from
mean,
home at the age of 6
I guess
and
she's
ended
also
up losing
kind
her
of
way in a
chaotic.
cave. Until she was rescued by some giant badger moles. Yes, they're badgers.
She's
And they are
blind
moles.
and very
Imagine one of
competent.
those things burrowing into your home. What kind of pest control
Yeah,
do you even call for that?
I mean, I guess
oh,
that's
wait,
true.
I know. Fire.
Like Toph, badger moles are blind, so they took a liking to her.
Well, how the hell would they know?
And as the original artists of the craft, the badger moles began her training in the art of earthbending.
These giant varmints taught Toph how to manipulate rock and stone. Using movements similar to the Chu-Gar praying mantis martial art, Toph can telekinetically throw, grow, shrink, and alter Earth in any conceivable way, making for some pretty down-to-earth attacks and defenses.
The badger moles also taught Toph how to see.
Wait, these ridiculous creatures are also masters of LASIK surgery?
No, Toph does not use her eyes to see. Of course, her other senses are extremely accurate, and as a master earthbender, Toph can sense the location of Earth anywhere. Even more impressive, though, the badger moles navigate their tunnels using an earthbending technique known as the seismic sense, and Toph quickly picked up on this talent. It's kind of like sonar, detecting the exact location and movement of a person or object through their interaction with the ground.
I feel the vibrations in the earth, and I can see where everything is. You, that tree, even those ants.
She feels every movement, every footstep, every heartbeat, so precisely she can even tell
Yeah,
if a person's lying.
I'll allow that
A
message.
woman who can always tell when I'm lying? No,
Twitch
thank
flagged
you.
the chat
Toph
message
is so good
because
at this that even her
it
closest
had the
friends
phrase
sometimes forget she's
"below
blind.
me" in it.
Sorry. But don't worry, they're reminded. In only 6 years, Toph had completely
me
mastered
away.
earthbending. She even won the Earth Rumble 4 tournament multiple times under her stage name, the Blind Bandit.
But Toph didn't stop her training with just earthbending. At first, softer earth proved difficult for her seismic sense.
I feel the vibrations in the
But yeah,
ground with
like-
my feet, but the sand is so loose and shifty. It makes everything look
Avatar's
fuzzy.
just
But she
good.
has
I think
since
that's a
demonstrated her
universally
mastery
accepted
in both
fact
sand bending
at this
and
point.
mud bending. She can also change the density of earth from sand to stone and back. And before you start making any density or hardening innuendos, she's 12.
Okay. But her greatest achievement is the discovery of an all-new bending art, one thought to be impossible, metal bending.
By manipulating the earthy
this
composition
streamer does not
within, Toph
condone
can
anything
bend
said
nearly
by
any
Death
type of
Battle.
metal just as
Is
well as
staying up
stone.
through
The exception
season
being
3,
highly
by the
purified
way.
metals such as platinum.
Toph quickly mastered metal bending
After
and went
that,
on
I'll
to
switch
teach it
it
to
out.
others.
She eventually even founded and led a metal bending police force.
And that's after conquering Earth Rumble 4, holding up a building the size of a castle, defeating an entire army almost single-handedly, and dueling King Boomy to a standstill. And that guy's conquered an entire hostile city by himself.
Even in her old age, Toph was capable of going one-on-one with a new avatar, and her seismic sense could locate people across the world.
She knows when I've lied and where I've been. Women should not have these powers.
I am the greatest earthbender in the world. Don't you two dunderheads ever forget it.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for a death battle!
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the whole point of the power system, is that they can be super creative with it. Because it's like, it's a very, like, broad, but still kind of limited scope.
Rough ride.
You do not belong here. This is sacred ground. Leave.
Oh yeah, tough guy? Make me.
Yeah.
Interesting. She commands stone.
The
as
Toph
fluently as I
sprite
control sand.
was actually
By the
custom
way,
for this
I can tell
episode,
you're
I
using
believe.
your sand to smash up the ground and
Very
enemies
well
for
made.
more ammo. pretty smart for a sandman. Too bad I'm gonna kick your butt before you can use any of it.
Also, that's Kira Buckland voicing Toph. She was in like everything back then.
I can't underestimate her.
Yeah.
I need time.
Yeah.
Huh? Whoa! Sorry, Grumpy. I'm not ready to be a shish kebab just yet. Come on! Are you really that scared of a little blind girl? I'm touched.
I don't know
Your
what that was
eyes.
supposed to be.
Those are not the eyes of loneliness, like mine. They are blank.
Impressive insight, Gloomsville. I'm digging the whole wearing sand thing, though. That's new.
Yeah, she just told you she was blind, dude. It's not that big of a realization.
Hey, no fair!
You need your arms to control the earth. I will remove them.
Dream on, creep! It'll take a lot more sand than that to take me down.
That's the plan.
Oh, crap.
Sun coffin. Sun burial. It is done.
Jeez, I almost felt that.
That's
Lots of
impossible.
stock sounds in
Kidding?
this one.
Pay
It's
attention,
very fun.
Sandy. I'm about to school you.
Let's turn that down a little bit. These rocks are very loud.
Gotcha. That's how it's done.
That was okay.
Goddamn son of a shit weasel! Why did another anime character have to lose?
Yeah, but here's why. Gaara's sand is monstrous, and its speed and power could easily obliterate most foes.
Let's turn this back
But
up.
with Toph, it's another story.
Really? She's friggin' blind, for God's sakes, and he can fly!
Oh ho ho! In the official behind-the-scenes extras of the Avatar Book 2 DVD, we found this. Toph can feel the earth, even if it isn't connected to the ground.
And
Toph
that's
is tough,
the
but her real
point that
strength lies in her precision and
kinda-
technique. With her earthbending and seismic sense,
makes this
you
a
can
bit
see
weird.
Gaara's
That's
attacks
their
coming
reason
the
for
instant
Toph
they
winning,
began, regardless of
is
if he was in the
'cause
air.
While Gaara's
she
chakra-infused
can
sand is controlled by his late
see
mother, it's
Gaara's
still sand.
attacks.
Just like in an earthbending duel, Toph
But
was
like,
able to influence it long
they
enough to
said
misdirect
in this
or block
episode,
attacks.
you need to
Also
be
remember,
like
Gaara added his
faster
father's
than
gold dust to the
sound
mix, giving Toph
to
two
dodge
different bending
Gaara's
options
sand.
just in case. Unlike platinum,
And they
gold
never
contains traces of iron and
gave
copper, and
Toph
can be metal
anything
bent.
close
To
to
top
those
this off, Gaara
speeds.
keeps himself covered in his sand armor, so Toph could always sense where he was.
Like, I
And
agree,
it's
she does have the
specifically
advantage
stated
of
that
being
the
able
sand
to
armor
see
uses
where
up
he
large
is
amounts of Gaara's
due
own
to her,
chakra, not
like,
his mother's sand.
sensing
So
his
when he
sand.
ran low on chakra, it became difficult to
And
maintain.
he does have limited
Thus,
chakra.
Toph had
That's
no problem
true,
turning
but,
Gaara's greatest defense into
like,
his worst
like I
weakness.
can see a
Gaara
bullet,
couldn't
but that doesn't
stand
mean I
up to
can
Toph.
dodge it.
I know you're floored. I really ground that one in.
I mean,
didn't
the
I?
episode's
What can I
fine
say?
otherwise,
It's
but
my
it's just a
earthly
bit
delight.
The winner
contentious.
is Toph Beifong.
No need to gravel about it. Can't we just bury the hatchet? I'm out. Next time on Death Battle.
I forget what next time is. Right. So this is the first time they redo an episode, although this one isn't really a redo. It's called a it's a remaster, technically. So it's a lot of the same beats from the script, and it's dedicated to Monty Oum, who was, I'm gonna pause this for a moment just so I can talk about this, who was a very influential internet animator. Yeah, you've probably heard this story, like, H Bomber Guy talked about it in his Ruby video, and that was the thing that Monty Oum was probably the most famous for, was he was the creator of Ruby. And he passed away very young, very tragically. But he was a huge inspiration to, like, basically every, like, amateur 3D animator online. So this episode has some touches that are, like, meant to dedicate it to him, which is nice. Yeah,
Bounty
otherwise,
hunting, one of the most respected
this episode
and fun jobs in the world.
is essentially
I don't
like,
know about respected, but certainly a daring profession only
it's
for
not
the strong
a
and
reanalysis of the
Boba
fight.
Fett, the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy.
It's more so
and Samus Aran, a hunter so determined she'll sacrifice a planet to reach her goal.
He's whizzing on Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons,
of the
armor, and
first
skills
episode.
to find out who would win
The script
a
has
death
many
battle.
of the same beats. Just the fight is better animated.
Boba
and
Fett
it's
is
better edited all
unnatural in
around.
more ways than one. He was not born into the galaxy, rather created as a clone of the fearsome bounty hunter Jango Fett.
Not fearsome enough, though. He tended to get ahead of himself.
As his father, Jango taught Boba all he knew about his profession. And despite being orphaned at age 10, Boba continued to live the hunter's life, eventually donning his father's armor and claiming his rightful place as the greatest bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Complete with the most badass spacesuit ever, his Mandalorian armor. It's got a micro-energy field that disperses impacts and is made up of Mandalorian iron.
Okay, at this point I think it's safe to assume every universe has some metal stronger than titanium. Though to this one's credit, it's actually a lot heavier, sacrificing mobility for
I like
durability.
the
In fact, it's
retractable
so
drinking
durable,
straw.
it resists
That's a nice-
lightsabers.
that's
You know,
cute.
the swords that can cut through anything.
His gauntlets house a flamethrower, fiber cord whip, and numerous concussion and stun missiles. But his weapon of choice is his EE-3 carbine rifle, which Fett often cradles like a child. There, EE. Daddy's here. Killing time soon.
That's creepy.
However, my favorite thing in Boba's bag is his badass jetpack.
Which
Yeah, I
he uses
think-
for
I
short-range
think
travel
that's
and
also
to gain a
from a
mobility advantage
fan
over his
film.
foes. While it can only hold enough fuel for a single minute's worth of flight, its velocity reaches up to 90 miles per hour.
The jetpack also has a single anti-vehicle homing missile, because when you've got space for a missile, why not?
In short, Boba Fett is a human Swiss Army knife. He's killed hundreds of criminals, politicians, and Jedi, and battled Mace Windu to a draw when he was only 12 years old.
An accomplishment so manly, it instantly kickstarted his puberty.
But for all his skill, Fett has one great, inescapable weakness: the Sarlacc pit. This flaw is so unavoidable, he was knocked into the pit by a blind and physically drained Han Solo while wearing a jetpack.
And since Disney bought Star Wars and nixed the expanded universe, this
It's
is where Boba Fett's
interesting
story
contrasting
officially
this
ends.
with the actual episode 1 and seeing
But that's
how their
stupid, so here's what
approach
happened in the
has
expanded
changed
universe.
so much.
Using a combination
over
of his
such a
jetpack and
relatively
blowing
short
himself
span
up,
of
Fett
episodes.
actually escaped the Sarlacc. He later became leader of the Mandalorian warriors after the Galactic Civil War, and even held his own against Darth Vader. Twice.
While using one of several lightsabers he's taken from his Jedi kills. And that's pretty goddamn impressive. But you know what's even more impressive? The time he trained Han Solo's Jedi daughter so that she could kill an evil, all-powerful Sith Lord, who just so happened to be her own brother. Spoilers. Unfortunately, Fett's greatest weakness still remains that toothy sand vagina.
He has fallen into the Sarlacc a total of 3 times. 3! And the Sarlacc's not exactly running around looking for snacks. It's a freaking hole in the ground.
And again, he can fly! Fun fact, every year following his escape, Boba Fett returns to the planet Tatooine just to shoot the Sarlacc. In a spaceship from orbit. He's learned his lesson. He's staying as far away from that shit as he possibly can.
Fear of teethy holes aside, few have survived once he's set his sights on them. Boba Fett is
Also,
a whole new meaning
they add
of
some
deadly.
of these cute little details now
disintegrations. As you wish.
that aren't necessarily like combat related, but are just fun.
When she was young, Samus Aran lived with her family on Earth colony K2L. Until one fateful day when it was sacked by an army of space pirates led by the vile Ridley, a giant purple space dragon.
Ridley murdered her parents right in front of her, along with the rest of the planet. Literally everyone except for Samus. So PTSD therapists were in pretty short supply.
Thankfully, Samus was rescued by the Chozo, bird-like aliens who raised her to become a warrior. She was infused with Chozo DNA, increasing her strength, speed, and athletic ability far beyond those of a normal human being.
So, does she now have a bad habit of pecking at food and shitting on people's cars?
No. She wears the power suit, typically in Varya form, shielding her entire body without restricting any movement or flexibility.
Too bad it makes her look like a dude.
Though underneath, she wears the skin-tight Zero suit.
There we go! They must call it that because there's literally zero left to the imagination. While in that Zero suit, she carries a paralyzer pistol, a gun which can, well, paralyze people, and turn into a laser whip.
But she definitely prefers the power suit in most combat situations. As a modified version of Chozo battle armor developed specifically for Samus, it can also be upgraded to adapt to any environment.
Samus carries the powerful arm cannon as her primary weapon, and she's found
also
quite a
nice
few
getting,
upgrades for it over the years.
Slight,
the basic power beam is a pea shooter. When you charge it up, it'll blow your face clean off. She can also set it to blast an ice beam, grapple beam, and tons of seeking and super missiles.
Her Chozo training lets Samus control the skies with a speedy screw attack, and curl into her morph ball form to traverse places few others can.
That's the name of the
How
site.
the hell does she do that?
Bird DNA, Boomstick. Bird DNA.
Yeah, because we all know how many times you scare a bird in the parking lot and then it just curls up into a ball and zooms away.
Alien bird DNA.
Well then, F that planet and its birds. But I do like their power bombs, which Samus carries and can use to destroy anything in the general vicinity in seconds.
Samus is known as the bounty hunter capable of taking on impossible missions, fighting massive beasts, and even wiping out an entire species.
All but one. Talk about having the rarest pet in the universe. And it makes a cute hat.
However, she often makes mistakes. Somehow, she always seems to lose all her power-ups and upgrades at the beginning of every mission.
How has she not gotten a purse yet?
And
well,
they
even when
kept
she does
the
have all her
purse
arsenal at her
line.
disposal, it doesn't
Let's
guarantee
go.
its use.
Sexism.
For example, she once entered a volcano and did not activate her thermal systems until halfway through the mission, all because she was waiting for permission.
Oh, can we please not talk about that game?
Also, yeah,
But
fuck
don't
Other
worry,
M.
Samus has proven time and time again to be one of the deadliest hunters in the galaxy. Outlaws everywhere fear the name of Samus Aran.
They gotta keep it authentic, man.
Go.
Again, they get better about it as the years go on.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for a death battle remastered!
Who would he fight, though? Who would... Oh, yo. Boyfriend versus Parappa the Rapper. There we go. That's the matchup. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. it's definitely an improvement over the first one.
Fett put up a fight to the
Like,
best of his ability,
there's
but
some
Samus's superior
liberties
technology
taken.
and athletic
Like,
skill
I don't think
trumped him in
Samus's
every
little
way.
laser pistol
Well, Fett may
can
be
do
more
like
durable
most
and
of the
physically
things it
stronger.
did
Samus
in
has
that,
dealt with
like
foes
turn
like
to
that
a
all her
sword
life.
Boba
or
Fett
shoot
really
the
didn't
ice
have the
beam.
means necessary to catch Samus, let alone perfectly
But,
counter Samus's power
yeah.
bomb, screw attack, and ice beam.
Part of it was
killed plenty of Jedi and
like
survived
for
a
the
run-in with
like
Vader, but his greatest
I
victories
think part of
usually
it was
stem
like
from his cunning.
as
He's a
part of the
master
Monty
playing
Owen
his
tribute
enemies
because
into his
Samus
hands.
was like
But when it comes to
a
Samus,
character
Fett
in
had little to work
his
with. Samus
one of his more
specifically modeled
famous
her bounty hunter
animations,
career around anonymity.
Aloyd.
She's even commonly mistaken as a man by the
Yeah.
very people who want to hire her, making it extremely difficult for Fett to get a read on her.
Fett just couldn't keep his head in the game.
The winner is Samus Aran.
Smouse.
Next time on Death Battle.
Right. Yeah. That's a thing. Also, I did want to show at least a bit of this credit sequence. Because it is like I think this part got muted because they were playing copyrighted music, but this is just a dance sequence because Monty liked to animate dance sequences and he made a lot of them. So this is part of the tribute to him. Yeah, it looks a bit fun. Oh, yeah, you could kind of hear it there. But yeah, I think this part got muted for copyright. But anyway, yeah, if you're wondering what the totally awesome image that I had for the intro was about, this is why. Because freaking Chuck Norris is on Death Battle. And this was before he, it was revealed that he's kind of not that great, but, you know.
Stories. And today we pit the greatest of these legends
It's
in a
like
clash
Chuck
of
Norris.
East meets West.
Chuck Norris. No real introduction needed.
And Segata Sanshiro, defender of the Sega Saturn, of all things.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
This is, I think, the best inclusion of a quote-unquote real person
in ancient China,
in Death
there
Battle.
was a legend that one day a child would be born from a dragon and vanquish evil from the land. That man is not Chuck Norris, because Chuck Norris killed that man.
Carlos Ray Norris, yes, that's his real name, was born to a humble Oklahoma family in 1940. A loner, mediocre student, and all-around physically intimidating pacifist, his childhood was
the sprite they used for him is a Joseph Joestar recolor, which I think works perfectly.
States military and began training in martial arts. From the day he threw his first punch, his life was changed forever.
Turns out Chuck is unnaturally gifted in the ways of violence. After his military career, he wandered America for 10 years battling in martial arts competitions. He racked up 183 victories, held the professional middleweight karate championship title for 6 years, and became the first Westerner in the history of Taekwondo to earn the 8th degree black belt.
But he didn't stop there. Chuck achieved black belt status in 5 additional disciplines: Tang Soo Do, Karate, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and even one he created, Chuck Kwon-Do.
Close, it's actually Chun Kuk Do, or Universal Way, where Chuck harnesses the powers of the universe to achieve superhuman feats.
With one hand, I can crush coal into a diamond.
So impressed at himself, he hired a team of filmmakers to document his life of newfound powers. Some of these real-life accounts include the Delta Force, Walker Texas Ranger, and Chuck Norris Karate Commandos, just to name a few.
According to these archives, Chuck can kick a man so hard that he does 6 backflips, fire more bullets from a machine gun than it can actually hold without reloading, and even transform into fucking animals. Why doesn't he do that more often?
Because the most dangerous animal in the world is Chuck Norris. Chuck has taken his already unprecedented abilities even further through over 35
let's
years
take
of intense
every
training
bit
on his secret
of
weapon,
like
the
weird
Total
Chuck Norris
Gem.
trivia.
He even had
very
to create
literally.
his own pants with a secret gusset to keep them from exploding off his body due to his sheer kicking power. He calls them Chuck Norris Action Jeans.
Naturally, powers like these have spawned hundreds, no thousands of myths describing what Chuck Norris is capable of, making it very difficult to separate fact from fiction. That is, until Chuck released a book officially chronicling 101 of his favorite feats.
Fact number 67. When Chuck Norris does push-ups, he pushes the earth down.
Fact number 95. Chuck Norris is so fast he can run around the world and punch himself in the back of the head.
Fact number 80. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, Chuck Norris can roundhouse kick you yesterday.
Fact number
he can
71. Scientists
unscramble
have
an
estimated
egg.
that
That's
the
my
energy given off
favorite.
by the Big Bang was roughly equivalent to 1 CNRK. One Chuck Norris roundhouse kick.
And those are just a few of the ones that we know are true. In addition, legend has it that beneath his magnificent beard lies a third fist.
Chuck is as tough as they come, or rather tougher. Once, after being beaten unconscious and buried underground inside a truck, he revived himself with a beer shower and miraculously drove the truck out of the earth.
He's proficient with many different vehicles, speedboats, helicopters, a motorcycle that shoots rockets, and weaponized dolphins.
Whom he can communicate with.
I'll take care of Angelfish, and you guys make sure no one gets out of here.
He also has a keen sense of awareness and is ready for anything, even a giant alligator parachuting in through a window.
He also put together a team of heroes and saved the world on multiple occasions.
This guy really is all that is man.
But don't mistake unrelenting masculinity for perfection. Despite his impressive martial arts record, he's still suffered a total of 10 losses.
And that's not to mention his massive amount of chest hair. Although infinite and a source of power, it makes him easily grabbable, and even once aided in his own, death at the hands of Bruce Lee.
Luckily for Chuck, death itself fears him, so he just kind of kept going.
In all our years of research, we've never found an opponent worthy enough to take on the roundhouse kicking, beard punching Texas Ranger. Until now.
I heard another rumor that you were bitten by a king cobra.
Yeah, I was. But after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra died.
Like it's just stupid fun.
Japanese folklore hosts a plethora of horrifying tales. Raiden, the god of thunder, devours the stomachs of children. Kappas, monsters that dwell in rivers, drown their victims and rip their souls out their anus.
And then there's the legend of the Karate Master, who will
Let me
beat
know
you
if it's
within
too
an inch of your
quiet, by the
life
way.
if you aren't playing a Sega Saturn. His name is Segata Sanshiro. Men, women,
Segata Sanshiro.
children. Nobody is safe from Segata's wrath.
In 1997, Sega's latest console, the Sega Saturn, was failing. Nintendo was dominating the market, and things seemed bleak for this once great video game titan.
That is, until a mysterious stranger appeared with a plan so crazy, it just might work. He'd travel the land and beat the shit out of anyone not playing a Saturn.
And it did work. Sales skyrocketed alongside the hospitalization of Japanese youth. But not much is known about this mysterious savior.
We do know that when he appeared, he had a giant Sega Saturn strapped to his back, which he uses to train his physical and gaming prowess at the same time.
And he appears to be dating Sakura from Sakura Wars. Yes, he is somehow dating a video game character.
This man's
Well,
living
I'm
the
not
dream.
surprised because this guy has done some pretty amazing things. He's kicked a baseball for a home run, raced over 60 miles per hour on ice, barefoot, and won the World Cup by throwing a player into the ball to score the winning goal.
He is a master of disguise and breaking and entering. He can duplicate and resize himself an unlimited number of times, and once took down an entire club filled with people in only 3 moves.
But his favorite and most powerful technique is his earth-shattering judo throw, which can make his victims explode upon impact twice.
In just a few short years, Segata had successfully terrorized his entire homeland into loving Sega's floundering console. Sales even surpassed those of the Nintendo 64.
So naturally, the Big N got jealous and launched a huge-ass missile at Sega's headquarters. Oh, corporate squabbles.
But Segata, who apparently resides on the roof of the Sega HQ, demonstrated to the world his most impressive feat of all.
He just straight up leapt off the building onto the missile and stopped it against a glass window. Then flipped it around and rode it into space.
A missile of that size would travel around 3,600 miles per hour, something that no window pane in existence could possibly withstand. Just to stop it without cracking the glass, Segata would have had to make the missile weigh less than it should upon contact with him. The only possible explanation is that Segata is simply exempt from the laws of physics and theoretically capable of almost anything, such as surviving the vacuum of space.
Well, until the missile blew up and he died.
Segata Sanshiro wa kimi tachi no kokoro ni. F's in the chat for Segata Sanshiro.
Or did he?
The departing words from the Japanese commercial announcer claims that Segata will always live on in our hearts. But also, he lived on in, the regular way.
While most are blinded by the tears of sadness in their eyes, if you look closely, you'll see what appears to be a shooting star. Or Segata re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. But don't just take my word for it.
1 year after his supposed death, a strangely similar-looking man appeared in the game Rent-A-Hero #1. He mentored the main character in the ways of martial arts, while claiming to have once been a great hero himself.
Then in 2012, as Sonic and friends competed in the Race of Ages, a man bearing a giant Sega Saturn on his back was seen steering a missile away from the track.
But the most irrefutable evidence of all came in 2013, when Segata Sanshiro himself crashed a Sega Sound Unit concert and performed his own theme song live on stage. All video footage was destroyed, but we were able to recover a few surprisingly high-quality pictures.
And as of the February 2015 issue of Archie's Sonic the Hedgehog comic, a familiar-looking judo master fought the Blue Blur in a tournament on Mobius, which is our own Earth 3,000 years in the future. There's only one logical conclusion. Segata's not only alive, he's immortal.
Death may not be able to conquer Segata, but he in turn has difficulties against the death of others, specifically club zombies.
And ultimately, while he successfully revived the Saturn, his skills were not enough to keep Sega on top forever.
Perhaps the reason he remains shadowed
this
in
might
anonymity
be
is that he is biding his time,
arguably the most obscure character they've ever used.
And rescue Sega yet again.
But it's so
God
funny.
knows they need him now more than ever.
Regardless, it's safe to say that all should heed Segata's parting words. Or else. Alright, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's
time for a death battle!
We'll return to Delta Force right after these messages.
shoot! Sega Saturn, shoot! Sega Saturn, shoot! Sega Saturn, Sega Saturn, shoot! Forward! Ha!
Come back in here. I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for that.
The third fist from the beard. Oh, there goes the planet. He pushes the Earth down when he does push-ups. Of course, he has to use Saturn, because it's the Sega Saturn. They break space-time. Oh, what was that? Oh? Oh?
Apocalyptic! Holy shit, that was awesome! But who won?
I don't know. I think they're still going. Our instruments just can't pick them up anymore. I believe they might have ripped a hole in space-time, so they've either traveled to another dimension or completely destroyed their plane of existence. Or both.
Well, God have mercy on wherever they ended up. I guess this one just kinda spaced out. Next time on Death Battle.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite joke episodes that they've done.
And you are?
I'm Guts.
Yeah. They, Nightmare versus Guts. So for this one, I am going to give... This is the first time I have to give a spoiler warning, I believe. There will be minor spoilers for Berserk in this. It's like... It's the thing that is, like, the well-known, like, spoiler part of Berserk. So it's not, like, super big spoilers. But if you want to, like, look into the series, like, completely blind someday, you can... like, I don't know, just, like, not pay attention to the stream for, like, the first, like, 4 minutes or so. I'm also going to give a contact warning, or content warning, because Berserk, like, if you do decide to watch, Berserk's a very, very dark series, and they do talk about some stuff that happens in it, and it's, so... Yeah.
This episode of Death Battle is brought to you by Squarespace, the easiest way to create a beautiful website, blog, or online store for you and your idea. Squarespace features an elegant interface, beautiful templates, and incredible 24/7 customer support. Try Squarespace at squarespace.com/screwattack and instantly get 10% off.
Again, it's not like... And this is like a 10-year-old episode, so it's not like anything, like, more recent in the manga. It's just they talk about
for untold decades,
the
scientists
thing that
have searched
happens
for a
in
legitimate
Berserk.
method of measuring a person's level of badassness, completely missing the obvious answer.
Just check out the size of his sword, like Guts, the brutal black swordsman from Berserk.
And Nightmare, the demonic scourge from Soul Calibur.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Yeah, it's that. It's that thing.
In the realm of Midland, rumors run rampant of a man wielding a humongous blade slaying any who get in his way. But before his legend grew, this black swordsman was known simply as Guts.
Oh man, I'm so excited! Guts is one of the most badass and hardcore characters ever.
But the story of Guts is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, it's kinda dark. You've been warned.
After a brutal massacre, Guts was born from the corpse of his mother, who'd been hanged from a tree.
And we're just getting started. Baby Guts was discovered by a traveling band of mercenaries and was adopted by the camp whore,
who died to plague 3 years later. With no one left to turn to, Guts was mentored by the mercenary leader Gambino, who began training him in swordsmanship when he was just 6 years old.
Hey, Guts, why don't you use a smaller sword, one right for your side?
We don't carry any baby-sized swords for kids here anyway.
An extremely determined student of war, Guts was soon brought onto the battlefield and killed his first man at the age of 9.
Despite his skill, life wasn't all murder, sunshine, and rainbows. Young Guts was constantly abused in many ways that I don't really want to go into. But these awful things he had to endure kickstarted the long, excruciating process of grooming Guts into the scariest man in the world.
After killing his crazed adoptive father in self-defense, Guts became a lone mercenary, and a damn good one. Recognized for his skill, he was recruited by the mercenary crew called the Band of the Hawk, led by an ambitious man named Griffith. The Hawk's Raiders would be Guts' first taste of camaraderie and friendship.
Over the next 3 years, they single-handedly ended a 100-year war. Things were looking up for Guts. And then Griffith summoned a horde of demons, transformed into a bat monster, murdered all of Guts' friends, and claimed ownership of Guts' soul by branding his neck. If that wasn't traumatic enough, Griffith then raped Guts' girlfriend in the pool of his friend's blood as he watched, pinned down with his eye gouged out and forced to cut off his own arm.
Definitely not his best day. After all that, Guts dedicated
like
his entire life to murdering Griffith as painfully and brutally as possible, while fighting demons on a daily basis as they are drawn to his brand like moths to a flame.
But to do this, he needs the right tools for the job.
Berserk is a series I've never personally read because I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for it, but I do want to look into
and
it
a hidden single-shot cannon, perfect for blasting a demon's face off.
Surprise, bitch!
But none of that compares to Guts' primary tool of destruction, the giant blade known as Dragon Slayer.
Massive, thick, heavy, and far too rough. It's too big to be called a sword, more like a heap of raw iron. And it might just be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Forged by the legendary hermit Godo, Dragon Slayer was made to, well, slay a dragon. Unfortunately, it was laughed off as impossible to use by anyone.
Except for Guts.
Sitting 6.5 feet long and weighing over 400 pounds, the Dragon Slayer is enormous, though not unfeasible. In real life, the largest sword ever used in battle belonged to a Frisian freedom fighter and stood 7 feet tall, though it wasn't nearly as heavy, only 14 pounds.
With a single swing of Dragon Slayer, Guts can cleave through a man wearing heavy armor, along with his weapon, his horse, and any other people, animals, or demons who happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And after killing over 1,000 demons, no, I did not stutter, Dragon Slayer has bathed in so much demonic blood that it now rests in both the physical and astral planes of existence. Somehow. Meaning it is capable of harming any supernatural being.
Even ghosts!
Guts is an absolute monster in combat. He can move faster than the eye can track, killed 100 soldiers on his own in a single night, and once jumped in the mouth of a giant sea god, cut his way through it, and killed it from within.
You intend to gamble your life on a single strike?
Guts will do anything to defeat his foes, including jumping into fire or allowing himself to be impaled just to gain an advantage. And somehow he always survives. He's fallen hundreds of feet, gotten stabbed through the face, taken 1,000 supernatural punches at once, and even been run over by an elf fairy Mothra going supersonic speeds.
But his disregard for his own safety can be costly. Honestly, the only reason he's still alive is pure dumb luck and unstoppable willpower.
And if Guts wasn't tough enough on his own, he wears the Berserker armor, the most insane battle gear you've ever seen.
Activating the Berserker armor seals off the wearer's nervous system, making him immune to pain and its natural inhibitions. This allows Guts to fight at his fullest potential, boosting his power and speed at the risk of damaging his own body.
Like, this episode was the first I had heard of Berserk. So just learning all this stuff about it right away was like, oh, this is a lot. Although I love the concept of the Berserk
Now don't get the
armor.
wrong
It's
idea, the
very
armor does not
cool.
actually heal Guts, it just holds him together. This is dangerous because, well, even though Guts won't feel pain, that doesn't make him invincible.
Plus, the Berserker armor also kinda forces Guts to give in to his inner demons and lose all sense of morality and restraint, making him the most violent demon killer ever.
Violent and completely uncontrollable.
Guts is the embodiment of rage and the epitome of badassery. Believe me, the last thing you want to do is get in this guy's way.
My sword has gotten very dull. However, it's 3 times as thick and does 3 times the damage of a normal sword. You'd better pray you die quickly, or this could be painful.
Yeah, so, like, a lot of people have the problem with that rundown of, like, oh, it talks about all this traumatic shit that happened to Guts. But it's fine, because it made him cool. Which is
It was called Soul Edge, and it was a
not
beast,
the best way to
gigantic,
handle it.
Powerful, sexy.
At a daunting
I guess
6
this is
feet
also
1
the
inch
end
in
of the
length, no
Berserk
ordinary
spoilers.
soldier could wield it. But those who could proved
It's
unstoppable.
Soul
It
Calibur
left
time.
no survivors in its wake, just like my
Soul
ex-wife at an
Calibur's
all-you-can-eat
cool.
buffet.
However, a great evil dwelt within the sword. After claiming victory upon victory and being bathed in the blood and hatred of countless foes, a fire was born inside Soul Edge.
Literally, it's a demon made
It's
of
also the end
friggin'
of the
fire.
content warning,
The
because
demon
Soul
Inferno
Calibur is not
had one
nearly
purpose,
as
to infect the world with evil and
uh,
chaos. But in order to
dark.
accomplish this, he needed a warrior capable of wielding
Nightmare's
the
just
true
cool.
power of Soul Edge. He planned to possess this warrior and transform them into the azure-clad Knight of Darkness, Nightmare. Inferno's first victim came in the late 16th century, when a pirate named Cervantes de Leon raided an English galleon and discovered the intriguing blade aboard, claiming it as his own.
But as we know, this was no ordinary flesh-covered sword with an eyeball. Inferno seized this opportunity and possessed the pirate, testing his body by slaughtering the entire population of a Spanish port town. Talk about a test drive!
Unfortunately, while powerful, Cervantes was not the ideal vessel Inferno sought.
So he made him sit in that town until 2 chicks showed up, killed his ass, and somebody more powerful picked up the sword.
That someone was a knight named Siegfried, and this was the body Inferno was looking for. Once Siegfried's hand touched Soul Edge, Inferno began eating away at his soul, torturing him endlessly and feeding on his fear and anger, transforming him into Nightmare. Nightmare was powerful enough to threaten all of Europe, conquering whole armies and devouring thousands of innocent souls.
If you haven't figured it out by now, Soul Edge is kinda like the ring from Lord of the Rings. If it could cut people and hungered for souls!
However, Soul Edge's power was incomplete. At some point, it had been broken, and shards of the demon's sword had been scattered across the world. To unlock Soul
love
Edge's true
Soul
power,
Edge as a
Nightmare set
concept.
off to
It's
find the
so
lost pieces
rad.
of his sword and repair it.
As Nightmare discovered each shard, the power of Soul Edge grew, and so did Nightmare's. He can fight with numerous stances, channel fire and lightning through Soul Edge, and devour the souls of hundreds at once with Soul Wave.
Watch this.
cool.
Despite Nightmare's ever-growing power, Siegfried constantly battled to free himself from Soul Edge's curse, and eventually, he succeeded. The two did battle atop Osterreinsburg Castle, but Nightmare's power was so great, the entire structure was obliterated by a single swing of his vile blade.
Just like a crazy ex-girlfriend, he figured if he couldn't have that body, no one can.
Soul Edge cannot be defeated by an ordinary blade. In fact, only one weapon has ever been able to harm it, a supposedly holy blade called Soul Calibur.
That's the
Unknown
name
to
of the
most,
game!
Soul Calibur is actually the final shard of Soul Edge, reforged into a second sword made specifically to combat its demonic counterpart.
Poor guy. How would you feel if some asshole decided to make a weapon specifically designed to murder you? And it kept showing up everywhere.
Nightmare has come close to conquering the world on numerous occasions, yet a warrior wielding Soul Calibur always seems to show up and hold him at bay. While Soul Edge seems indestructible,
apart from that pesky holy sword,
Inferno does require a mortal body to create Nightmare. Should Nightmare fall, Inferno can risk his own life by manifesting himself to protect Soul Edge, as his very existence is tied to the sword.
But if Nightmare manages to absorb that final shard, Soul Edge and Nightmare will merge into their ultimate form, Night Terror, a larger, deadlier, flyier Nightmare.
Flyier?
Yeah, when one gains the power of flyingness? Duh.
No matter the time, place, or vessel, few can match the vile trio of Soul Edge, Inferno, and Nightmare.
Soul Calibur is another one of those series that I never really got into, but there's a lot about it that I just think is cool.
Set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
Like
time for a death
like Nightmare's just cool.
battle! Giant swords, yeah!
Oh yeah, also the fight is happening.
You're in my way. Stand aside.
Tremble in my darkness.
I don't know where they got this guts sprite from. It's not bad, honestly. Just a little bit odd compared to the Nightmare sprite. Not really fitting. Sure.
I told you to stay out of my way.
Oh hey, Cinder Killer Instinct, how's it going?
That's what I call a sword fight. While Nightmare wields more power than Guts, this is what Guts does every single day. He gets the shit kicked out of him trying to defeat gods and demons leagues above his abilities and still prevails.
Yeah. It's true, all his life.
I mean, this
so
guy
this is the point that people hold against this episode. By all accounts, Nightmare should win because he's just stronger.
True. All his life, Guts has had the odds stacked against
but
him, and yet
according
he's still
to
kicking
them,
while
this is what
everything else
Guts
is dead.
does every single day.
Soul Calibur can destroy Soul
He
Edge.
destroys
That's also true
demons
in the Soul
stronger
Calibur
than
world.
him,
However,
so
Inferno
he
exists on
can
an astral plane.
destroy
If you recall,
Soul
Guts' Sword
Edge.
Dragon Slayer also exists on
I
such a
guess.
plane, leaving no question that it could destroy Soul Edge.
And the fight's still
Plus,
cool,
his Berserker
but
armor
it's
bought
a
him
bit
plenty of time to land the killing blow.
questionable.
Yeah, because
I guess.
it will literally let you fight on until all of your bones are shattered and the last drop of your blood is spilled.
And it's not like Soul Edge was gonna have any luck tempting Guts into picking it up and turning into another nightmare. Not only has Guts dealt with enough demonic shit to know that's a bad idea, he really loves that Dragon Slayer. He's not giving that up for anything.
Guts was just a whole nother caliber.
The winner is Guts.
Alright. I think we have time for one
Next time
more.
on Death Battle.
And I think next time is... Yeah, okay. This is a good one to be the last one of the night.
It's like the old saying, if you want someone killed right, you have to kill him yourself.
Hey everybody, click that like button if you like.
Iron Man versus Lex Luthor. I guess I'll send in chat.
Technology. It improves our lives, lets you watch cool shows on the internet, and sometimes it can help you to rival gods.
Like with Iron Man, the Armored Avenger.
And Lex Luthor, arch nemesis of Superman.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Anyway.
There are the talented. There are the prodigies. And then there's Anthony Edward Stark.
Please, he prefers Tony.
Howard and Maria Stark ruled a $9 billion military tech empire. They could have anything they ever wanted, except a child.
Then Howard met an alien who decided to build a baby for them.
Fearing humanity would perish to more advanced alien races, this child was genetically engineered to lead the world to a new tech age. But that was Arno Stark. We don't speak of him. When Howard and Maria were disappointed with what they created, they adopted Tony instead.
Yep, that's the secret origin to Tony Stark. Didn't see that coming, did ya?
Despite not being the alien-engineered child of prodigy, Tony's gifted intelligence and world-changing destiny were obvious at an early age. He graduated from MIT with top honors and a physics and engineering double major.
Since the MCU is becoming like a big thing now,
this is a superhero origin,
it is about time Iron Man got on Death Battle.
And by tragedy, I mean his parents. So all of a sudden, Tony was an orphan. But on the bright side, it also made him the sole heir of Stark Industries. Nice.
With the entire family fortune at his fingertips, Tony pursued a life of reckless indulgence and mechanical tinkering. War was his income, and he enjoyed every bit of it until the day his eyes were opened.
Yeah, open with a shrapnel-filled irony bomb.
Held captive by terrorists in Afghanistan, Tony learned the bomb left shrapnel in his heart, which would kill him in a week. The terrorists gave Tony an ultimatum: construct weapons for them and receive treatments, or be left to die.
Definitely not racist caricatures.
He chose door number
I love
3.
old comics.
He built a space-age pacemaker to save his own life, and then built a mech suit around it and murdered his way to freedom. This taught Stark one of life's most important lessons. Heroes aren't born, they're built. A lesson which also made for a pretty sweet tagline.
My turn.
But Tony's heart was changed in more ways than one that day. Upon returning to America, he nullified all weapons development at Stark Industries and dedicated his life to saving the world, in his own way.
Yeah, we're not talking like just donating to charity and being kind to your neighbor. Tony became a one-man army of justice and began creating a new and improved armored suit that the public would eventually dub Iron Man. And then he made another one, and another one, and another, and then he made like a shitload more.
The Iron Man suits are numerous, but they typically come with a common base set of tools. Generally composed of a gold titanium alloy, his standard suits have the strength to lift up to 100 tons, fly at supersonic speeds, and come with an onboard intelligence system called Jarvis, which controls his weaponry and can summon other suits at his beck and call.
And for good measure, these babies come loaded head to toe with weaponry. I'm talking shoulder-mounted darts, anti-tank missiles, an EMP, and the Iron Man staple, laser beams.
These repulsor blasts draw power directly from the reactor in Tony's chest or chest piece, depending on the time period, to fire high-mass negatively charged muons as a concussive energy attack. Most commonly, these are fired from the palms of his suit.
But if the situation calls for a bit more firepower, he can blast an even larger beam directly from his chest piece. Unibeam!
All of these features come standard in his most often used suit, Model 13, the modular armor.
This armor specializes in adaptability, allowing Tony to swap out its individual pieces for one suited to the mission at hand. Oh, and it also has an extra casing known as Iron Man Armor Model 14. But you can just call it Hulkbuster.
As the name implies, this upgrade was built to contend with one of the
This is just a
universe's
good episode.
strongest beings.
I don't have
with a
much to
combination
say.
of magnetic and hydraulic
It's
technology,
solid.
in addition to the
So
strength of the
far,
modular
at least.
armor, the Hulkbuster can deliver far more powerful punches and hold its ground against the Incredible Hulk, who is strong enough to lift a 150 billion ton mountain.
But his most advanced armor yet comes in the form of his Endosim armor. Part metal, part scary space alien parasite, Tony can summon it telepathically, use it to imprison his foes, and even suck up electromagnetic fields. Electricity.
It can tank hits from Storm's lightning and shoot repulsor beams so powerful they can injure metahumans who are normally able to absorb energy.
Although Tony is a mere man who finds himself fighting with and against unimaginably powerful beings, he has proven time and time again that technology can compete with the world's greatest superheroes.
He can survive blows from Thor's hammer, hold his own against Captain America, and move faster than an extremist enhanced superhuman's eye can track.
Not to mention his suit can actually learn and predict its opponent's next move and withstand the fury of several nuclear bombs. Do not underestimate the Golden Avenger.
That being said, for all their power, the Iron Man suits are hardly flawless.
They've been known to malfunction in life-threatening ways and consume too much power too quickly, leaving Tony helpless.
Tony frequently pushes his suit and his body to their
Iron
absolute
Man's
limits
such a cool
and
character.
past them. And his reckless
And, like,
head-first mentality is
Robert Downey
responsible
Jr.
for landing him in
was
trouble
such
just as much
the
as it is
perfect
for
choice
getting
to
him
play
out of
him
it. This has led
in
to
the
him setting
MCU.
off a civil war between
So
superheroes
perfect.
and pissing off the all-powerful Phoenix Force into killing Charles Xavier.
What? Charles? But he's the Iron Man.
And he once built a device capable of releasing 20,000 megatons of atomic energy. That's 3 times more than all of the Earth's known nuclear weapons combined.
And then he just blasted it straight into the ground! All because he wanted to see what was at the Earth's core.
It didn't work out. But Tony's most diabolical nemesis isn't the Mandarin or even Ultron. It's his lifelong battle with alcoholism.
Did you say something?
Superman is among the most powerful characters in all of fiction. He can destroy planets, withstand supernovas, and fly faster than light itself.
What kind of person could possibly be the arch nemesis to someone like him? He'd have to be like a god made of magic kryptonite.
Wrong! Nope, just a mortal man with a passion for business, swindling, and green trench coats. Lex Luthor. Alexander Joseph Luthor began his rise to the top from the very bottom. As a child, he lived in a rundown section of Metropolis called the Suicide Slum. Yes, it was that bad. Under abusive parents, it was only by
Reason
sheer
for
willpower that
boldness
Lex moved on to a
classified.
better life.
Yeah, willpower and some good old-fashioned social Darwinism. His parents died in a car crash when their car's brakes failed, leaving Lex alone. Don't feel bad for a second. He used their life insurance money to get out of the ghetto and start his own company. And he's the one who rigged their brakes!
Although founded through some legally questionable means, the infamous LexCorp successfully spread its influence throughout virtually all of Metropolis. In time, Lex came to practically run the city itself. Taking ownership of nearly every media outlet, Luthor's positive public image went practically unopposed.
But everything changed when the Man of Tomorrow showed up.
In Lex's eyes, Superman was a massive issue for mankind. If humans no longer had to solve problems themselves, they would surely become a weaker race, completely dependent upon this otherworldly savior.
So Lex began his
go
crusade
into
to
the
remove him
character
from the
of Lex
equation,
Luthor a bit
and
more.
then promptly insert himself as the ruler of humanity.
Lex is a cunning strategist and mechanical genius who prefers to place his opponents in unwinnable situations. However, if physical strength is required, he dons the mighty war suit.
Must I remind you of my superiority?
The war suit is a powerful battle armor created by Superman's other arch-nemesis, the alien god known as Darkseid, and it's been further enhanced by Luthor's own designs.
Forged in the fiery pits of Apocalypse, Lex's war suit is no ordinary piece of machinery, despite its less than sleek appearance. It comes equipped with force fields, gauntlet blades, a giant kryptonite axe, and energy blasts
I also
powered by
love the idea
kryptonite
of this
generators.
just
It can also
super
fly
smart
and
guy.
has enough strength and durability to
But he's
go
just
up
like, you
against
know what,
Superman
fuck it.
himself.
Mech suit. I want
Despite how
to
capable
kill
the war suit
Superman
is,
with
you
my
may
own
feel it has an
hands.
obvious weak spot. The giant hole where his head is. But old Cue Ball's chrome dome is actually protected by an invisible force field. He just wants his opponents to know exactly who's beating the shit out of him.
Hello, sunshine.
Lex's weaponry goes beyond an alien metal suit. In addition to his brilliant strategic mind, he has also surrounded the Earth with dozens of satellites bearing his name.
Their purpose? A gigantic game of space laser hot potato.
Being a genius multi-billionaire, it's no surprise that Lex's accomplishments match the expectations. He's equaled Deathstroke in combat, stabbed Supergirl, snapped Brainiac's neck, and defeated Power Girl in a single stroke.
You can't blame him. I mean, I don't think anyone could handle more than a single stroke with Power Girl.
However,
Shut
Lex
up,
is not solely
Boomstick.
dependent on his war suit. He sometimes subjects himself to a kryptonite steroid, which has made him much stronger than an ordinary human. Capable of surviving wounds nobody reasonably should.
Yeah, like the time when a giant gorilla shot him in the chest with a sniper rifle, knocking him out of a helicopter off the edge of a cliff and landing headfirst in a canyon. He was up and banging his robot chick in like a day. Oh yeah, he built a robot version of Lois Lane for, you know, sex and murder.
Because Lex always wants what he cannot have. And his know-how with robotics goes past insane and into absurd. While confined to a prison cell, he built a talking flying robot that reads Moby Dick at such a high frequency it carved out an escape route through the floor itself, including perfectly shaped stairs.
But most diabolical of all, when no one was looking, Lex Luthor took 40 cakes. He took
Also, they
40
bring up
cakes,
the
Wiz.
40
That's as many as
cakes.
4 tens, and that's terrible.
40 cakes.
Strange thing is, that's actually
They have not yet brought up the
canon.
back credit card,
Faster.
but they brought up Lex
Luthor's hatred of
Luthor's
Superman
40
and
cakes.
drive to win are stronger than any machine he could create. Take, for example, the time Superman threw a satellite at LexCorp Tower, bringing the building down on top of poor old Lex. This left the guy with half his face ripped off, all 4 limbs blasted away, and he was impaled in 5 different places. Even like that, he still refused Superman's help. Wiz, if that ever happens to me, do me a solid and kill yourself in front of me so my dream of outliving you is complete.
Never gonna happen. But it's also that same cocky independence that serves as Lex's greatest downfall. When he merged with the Zone Child,
whoa!
It's not what you think. He gained, and I quote, infinite power.
And a secure spot on somebody's watch list.
The only catch was he could not use this power to harm others. But because all he wanted to do was kill Superman, he tried it anyway.
Based.
So Superman
Lex
just straight
Luthor's
up punched
based.
the god out of him.
Well, that's hardly accurate.
Come on, how else would you describe that?
Fair enough. Even so, when the Earth is threatened, you can count on Lex Luthor to look his enemies in the eye and fight for his people. And then exploit the hell out of him afterward.
You know what happens when you take on Lex Luthor? The same thing that's gonna happen to Superman.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, we don't want you to have horrible, earth-shattering regret by missing the best party in gaming. so we're gonna tell you about it.
Oh yeah, back when
SGC, the
Screw Attack
greatest
had
party
their
in
own
gaming, is
convention.
back to rock the
2015.
Southwest
Oh
for
my
its
god,
fifth
it's
year.
been so long.
Hosted by Screw Attack, SGC is
Look
an
at all
event
these
that you
people
don't
who
want
are
to miss
not
out on.
part
We're
of
talking
Death
3 days
Battle
of
anymore.
non-stop gaming in our massive free play arcade and console game room.
Tons of pants, Pro Jared,
Whoops.
Kinda Funny, and even
Oh,
a
God,
Dragon
they
Ball
have
Z
Pro
Funimation
Jared as a
voice actors
guest.
reunion, where you'll be able to meet your favorite Dragon Ball
Battle panel.
That's just scratching the surface of what I'm using the
Death Battle!
Anyway, actual thing we're here for, the fight.
Sir, we have a visitor.
All clear. What a joke.
How does Iron Man have a Keyblade and the Dragon Balls? This is just references to the warehouse. He has a
What's that you got there?
Gundam in there.
Oh, yeah. It's mine. I'll send you the bill.
Actually, sir, I should probably remind you, the contents of this warehouse belong to Miss Potts.
Pepper?
I'll forward the estimated damages fee to her account.
Great. Be discreet about it.
One of us has to be.
Remember my face, Stark. It'll be the last
More
thing you
interesting
ever
voice actor trivia, by the way. That's Gianni Matragrano as Lex Luthor. Before he became the funny man on YouTube.
His systems are confusing my targeting. Also, adding 2 million to your chances.
Not now, Jarvis. What do we got here?
I am having difficulty determining the suit's alloy. Alien, perhaps.
My suit is invincible.
How about this part?
I thought you were smart.
Hey, you're the one who looks like a giant rusty trash can with legs. No judging.
Sir, I estimate that will be a $583 million fee.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That one's on him.
It's safe to say that this is by far the best animated episode we have had so far.
What? Possible. All right. Come to mama. Yeehaw!
Wait, is that the...
That one might actually make a dent in your wallet.
What are you talking about? It's just a car. Seriously? What kind of car was that? Where do I get one of those?
Wake up, sunshine.
Watch your left.
Thanks for the fun, Stark. It was smashing.
No problem, pal. Thanks for the suit.
That current damaged your battery. Power is at 15% and dropping fast. I recommend a new plan of attack.
I have a plan. Attack!
That's the line from the movie.
Power of 10%.
Call that power. You are nothing.
Jarvis, reroute all power to the arm and leg hydraulics.
I have seen true power. You are nothing more than another ant to crush under my... How about that?
Good night, cue ball. What's going on?
We're out of power.
Ah, figures.
Fool, you're just like all the rest. Building a suit to save the world. Trying to play God. Let me tell you something, Stark. There's only one man in the world fit to play such a role. Me.
I don't know, Lex. Being a god can't be too hard. I mean, I'm the most intelligent, capable person on the planet. I'm not playing God. All this time, I've been playing human.
Hardest fucking line in existence, bro.
I'll take this.
What? What did you take?
Everything.
Here's the big one.
That was Pepper's building, wasn't it?
Phone call from Miss Potts.
Tell her I'm not here. I'm, jogging.
Already answered, sir.
Tony?
Hi, Pepper. How are you?
Why did Jarvis just deposit $5 billion for collateral damage?
I'm not here. I'm jogging.
Like, they do the whole cute little character writing bits.
Both Tony and Lex possessed
Fun.
incredible pieces of technology.
That's
but
just
only
a
one
this is
was
just a
naturally
really good
prepared for
episode.
anything.
I really like
Although
this
it's
one.
true that Lex could trade
This
blows
is a
with
fan
Superman
favorite,
in his
and
war
it's
suit,
not
the
hard
only
to see
reason he
why.
ever lasted as long
The
as he
animation's
did is because
super
many of
good.
its weapons are based on
It's well
kryptonite.
written.
Great for battling Kryptonians.
The analysis
only
makes
okay against
sense.
everybody else.
Yes, the warsuit could take hits from Superman, making it more than a match for even the Hulkbuster's power. But even against the very enemy it was designed to kill, the warsuit only lasts so long.
Iron Man's greatest advantage was being able to adapt his strategy by remotely summoning and changing suits. The Endosim in particular could counter nearly anything Lex could throw at it.
Plus, Iron Man has far more actual combat experience. Lex treated physical combat as a last resort, beneath him, while Tony straight up enjoys it. Lex just wasn't suited for this battle.
The winner is Iron Man.
Alright.
Next time on Death Battle.
The next time for this one, I believe, is... Yeah, it's... Beast versus Goliath, which, oh, we'll get to that when we get to that, but that's going to be the last thing we're going to watch for tonight, although, oh, come on, did it, it didn't save, okay, I'll have to update the tier list later, but for now, I've been going long, it's very late, oh god, and I have work tomorrow, so this is where we're going to end it. Thank you, everybody who tuned in for watching. I'll be back on Thursday streaming game as opposed to show. So I'll see you all then. Take care. Bye-bye.